of his delusion. Soon as I came to earth, my reality's confusing. It's all just some kind of game, right? Delusions of grandeur are consuming. They're all the same. Maybe I'm just paranoid. Though they dwell in the deepest abyss of space, they inhabit the same place in my brain. And I said, they're coming for me. Though they dwell in the deepest abyss of space, they inhabit the same place in my brain. And I said, they're coming for me. You know they're coming for you. 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 Came from beyond the stars and Sumerian planets, a cosmic parasite. Their claws, sharpened daggers, have entered my mind and act when they speak. I can't seem to leave. They're all just some kind of game. And you say the same thing, 'cause they're all the same. Maybe we're both paranoid. Though they dwell in the deepest abyss of space, they inhabit the same place in my brain. And I said, they're coming for me. Though they dwell in the deepest abyss of space, they inhabit the same place in my brain. And I said, they're coming for me. You know they're coming for you. 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 If I must say so, I've been haunted and hunted by shadows.
Okay, what is up, guys? What is up? We're starting really early. We're starting really early today, as early as possible, because I'm going to be reacting to a very long video. Okay, so I don't want to keep it crazy long for tonight, or go into too late of a night. So I might as well start early. Yo, Big Bars, what is up, my brother? What is up? Good to see you. Good to see you, my brother. So I figured I'll start early, right? I'll start early. It's the video I'm going to be reacting to is like almost, it's 2 hours and a half. So it's a long video. So, but before that, I wanted to get the basis right. Tonight we'll be talking about feminism. We'll be talking about women's impact, right? Which we usually always do, right? But I was watching this video by Andrew Wilson, and it helped clarify so much more, or educate me so much more about feminism. It helped shape my ideals of feminism even more, because I've always believed this, right? I've always believed this, that feminism isn't about the fight for equality or the advocacy for equality. I've always believed that feminism is the advocacy for power. Okay. I believe that women didn't want equality. They wanted power. Now, they started with the equality talk, but what they actually want and what they're trying to spearhead and get to is power. Okay. It was during a time where these few white women saw the few white men have power, and they were jealous of it. They wanted to be just like these white men, okay, that had power. The few white men that had power, they wanted to be in those positions as well. So this is why I believe feminism was established. Okay. I mean, and I believe men, right, the powerful men, right, indulge these delusional women because they knew that, okay, fine, I'm gonna let you try to garner power. But what I'm going to slowly show you is that what you're doing is actually helping uh help fatten the pockets of the rich, because now you have lower wages because there's more workforce, and because of the more workforce there's more people to tax. So essentially feminism was the start of an economic, crash, in my opinion, right? Start of the downfall of our society economically. Okay, made taxes high, made everything, every product we have, whatever, uh outpace earnings. Because why do I need to pay you more when there's a woman that wants to take your spot, right? Why would I need to pay you more when there's a woman that wants to take your spot? Why? That's the thing. That's the thing where a lot of people don't realize that women pretty much help facilitate the rich, and they help destroy our society. So we'll be talking about that. This video, right, helped me really establish that viewpoint, or it just helped me get even a better view, right? So
concept of feminism, because I don't think I understand it. And when I was talking to Crowder, he brought this up, and I had said, we were disagreeing about some things that Nick Fuentes had said. I was like, well, I think women should be able to vote. He's like, well, I don't think they should if you're not getting drafted. I didn't even know where he was going with it, because he kind of took me like, so what? I'm like,
sure,
and what he said, I was like, what are you saying? I didn't understand what he was even saying. What is this kind
I'm
of
glad we had the conversation before this, kind of about dogmas and worldview and belief, right?
Right.
Feminism is a dogma, and it's a very religious dogma because it relies on the idea of egalitarianism and equity, and those are things we just grant ourselves. Like, people should have that because they should have that.
I get it.
But most people don't really have a grounding for why they think that. It's just kind of beat into them as part of the new Americana.
Okay.
Or what we would point at as the emergence of after the post-war consensus of World War II. But to explain this and express this in like really kind of simplistic terms for the audience and for you, it's really in the definition. So I think for a person like you probably define feminism as just being, women having equal rights to men.
Yeah, kind of. That's what
yeah.
Is that not it though?
That's not it.
That's not it.
And that's why this disconnect happens, and why I'm always in debates.
Here's the thing, right? I will always use this. If women wanted equal rights to men, i.e., be treated the same as men, they would not be pushing for no-fault divorces. Because no-fault divorces, by looking at statistics, they benefit women. No-fault divorces benefit women. Divorces benefit women, because why is it alimony or child support or the splitting of assets usually benefit women more than it benefits men? Okay, our system, okay, does not benefit men comparatively as much as it benefits women. But women don't fight for that, right? Women don't want that equal. It's like, no, right? We should have fault-based divorce. We should have fault-based divorces. We should automatically the splitting of child support is null and void. It should be down the middle, custody 50-50. That's equality right there. That's equality. Women should be fighting for the court system to be automatically 50-50. That's equality. But women don't fight for that. Right? Women definitely fight for abortion rights, which in the sense that men have no reproductive rights. Men have no reproductive rights. Men have no legal choice to say, no, I don't want a child. Women, right? And now today, women have some rights in certain states to say, no, I don't want to have a child, and I can abort this child. Men can't say that I don't want this child and I don't want to pay for this child. No. If the courts get involved, you will have a warrant for your arrest. Now, yeah, you may not have to pay for it. I mean, you may not pay for it, right? You escape, but now you have to do shady shit, right? Now, because there's a warrant, there is a lien, whatever, right? There's a warrant for you. That's the thing. Big Bars, my brother. I love you.
What up? I like you, man. Chilling, man. I like your topic tonight. Man.
That's right. All right. Let's go. Let's continue.
We should be clear on semantics of what words mean, because you could be saying that you're a feminist and you may not have the context for what actual feminism is. And so you just think, hey, I just want to have like the right to own property and not get by my husband. Right? And so that seems rational and reasonable, doesn't it? So I understand that. But here's what feminism actually is.
Okay.
Feminism is a movement towards egalitarianism by deconstructing the patriarchy. That's the key. What
you're saying. Yeah. So you're saying
by
the
deconstructing
fundamental
the
emasculation
patriarchy.
of men.
The idea
I agree with you
is
completely, though.
well, the idea here is there's an oppressor-oppressed class, that men are the oppressors of women. And since men are the oppressors of women, men need to be moved out of the oppressive roles of women, of what they do bad to women.
I get it.
So when it creates the oppressor class, it's pointing to the oppressor class, now men, and saying bad, right?
Yep.
And it's saying the oppressed, good. They're the ones who need liberation and things like this. And that's what it actually is, a deconstruction of patriarchal systems, because otherwise you can't have an oppressor. And so you probably, in actuality, aren't a feminist. If you
I don't define myself that way actually at all, but Crowder was like, "Are you a feminist?" And I didn't even know I'm like, what does that mean? Because I didn't understand even how we got there, because there were certain things that I had taken umbrage with that Fuentes had said, and then he said,
well, the reason I think he should, because I went and watched that, and maybe I can clarify something.
Yeah, I mean, I like Steven Crowder a lot, actually. I don't know. I was like, I watch him all the time.
I would consider him. I would consider Steve notch. I just never trusted a guy more than him in this industry.
Yeah.
But he, I understood where he was going with this. So what he's trying to show you is, if we have an oppressor-oppressed class, if we're looking at, the patriarchy is oppressing, right? And women are now the oppressed. The reason he's bringing up things like voting is he's saying he's challenging this dogma.
Okay.
Is it true that men and women are actually equal? And so from the Christian view, in my view, the answer is no. We're ontologically equal. So what that means is like, I think that you have the same value in the spirit of God as I do. But I don't think that men and women have the same material value or impact on the world. They have completely different impacts on the world. For instance, women are the only people who can give birth. Men can't do that. Okay, they can't. They can't. And so, since they're the only ones who could do that, you would think that you would structure society in such a way that it was the most conducive to women doing that, because they're the only ones who can. And you would think you would structure society towards men doing the things which only men can. Now, generally, you're going to find that in oil rigging and construction and these horrible jobs where the death rate.
This is why this video, it enlightened me so profoundly. Okay. Because that is true. Men are not oppressing women. Okay. Men have created society to pretty much facilitate women, where in the sense that why men are forced, or men are put in the role to provide, is because men know that's their role. They need to provide for women so women can have their environment, so they can, create the family that, adds to our nation, adds to our world. This is why we're seeing the difference, right? We're seeing the difference now, where women have fought against that. Now we see high divorce rates, low marriage rates. We see low birth rates. Okay, we're seeing women having kids much later in life, 30 plus or in their 40s, which at the time is very risky to them and the child. Right? And we're seeing the result of that, where we're having less and less kids. Okay, and I've seen a lot of videos of women regretting it. Oh my God, I always wanted to have kids, but you know what? Now I'm in my late 30s and my 40s. No man, right? Now it's like almost impossible, and you'll be lucky if you have one kid. Or a lot of these women having to go IVF or sperm donors to be single mothers. Great, we need more single mothers in this world, and that is the world that feminism are trying to create, which is essentially destroying our world, destroying our families. Because I've said this so many times. There are a few studies out there that says South Korea will go extinct in the next 50 to 100 years because of the feminist track that they're going on, where low birth rate, high divorce rates, low marriage rates, and we're seeing that. How can a whole ethnic group go extinct because of feminism? And that's how my view is. What do you think, my brother?
Yeah, I agree with a lot that you said. You know, like IDF, people like don't understand that average person cannot go get that. That's $20,000 to
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
$100,000 to
mm-hmm,
get that.
mm-hmm,
You know what I'm
mm-hmm.
saying? So people need to not alone with the cost with the prescriptions, the pharmaceuticals that you need to even do that. We're talking like 50 grand on the low side. You know what I'm saying? These
Mm-hmm.
people don't. Everybody don't have it to do that, and I think it would better women just to act right. I don't understand. You know, I was raised by a man. I was raised by my grandparents, and they loved each other. And they worked together. That's what
Mm,
all I know. That's what I know. So this new world we're living in is weird to me, let
yeah.
alone with the fact I had to leave this world to my son. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh,
I
uh-huh.
have to leave this world to my sons and my daughter. Yeah, I leave this world to my children. You know, it's crazy. That is crazy. And it's just a little bit, they're doing too much. And I agree that it's not about equality. It's about supremacy. And I just want people to say, keep it real. Just keep it real.
Exactly.
You are the N word. NAZHI. That's what you are. You don't want equal rights. So stop saying that. You want to
Mhm.
be above a man. And
Yes,
I
yes.
think that's the problem. Say it. Keep I think they would do better about keeping it 100. You want to leave and keeping it 100, number one. And number two, if you want to wear the pants, it costs to be the boss. Period.
Yeah, yeah,
That's how I
exactly,
feel.
exactly. And this is the thing where this is obviously we said this plenty of times. It's the white liberal women's fault because women of every ethnic group they have had to work, right? They have been a contributor of the family. They're not just staying home and doing nothing. No, they had to go out and make money as well. But it's the liberal women who were lazy. They had no responsibility. They're free. They're bored. Now they're trying to make uproar. This is the thing where they poison every other women in the world. That's the danger, and that's what we talk about and try to fight against.
It's the same thing as Beyonce saying to the left, to the left. You are but Beyonce, you can say that, but the average Keisha on the corner cannot say that and prosper. You know what
I
I'm
know.
saying?
Yep. Yep.
Some
Yep. Yep.
people they need to stay with who they're with because that's the only way they're gonna make it. I
Yeah,
feel.
that's what we're getting. We are getting narcissistic, egotistical women. Like they're too good for average men, right? Again, that's the feminist ideology. That's a feminist poison. Have high standards, right? You are better than a man, right? You're strong, independent. You don't need no man. Right? That's the feminist poisoning, where we have average women or average or below average, who think average men are not good enough. That is the insanity, right? That's the insanity we have right now.
And, you know, the thing is that what I wanted to say is that I don't even think it's like a hypergamy thing. I think it's a they have taught women to move the goalposts and take no accountability thing. That's what I
Mhm,
really think it is. If you keep on moving the goalposts, you're never wrong, and that's
mhm,
what they have learned and been taught to do. Terrence Howard said on an interview that women are smarter than the men because they learn how to manipulate faster. And I don't agree with that statement. That doesn't make you smarter.
no,
That
it
makes
doesn't.
you a horrible person. Like he
Yes,
just calling it
yes.
what it is.
No, I think manipulating people is just, it doesn't make you smarter. It just makes you just more of a terrible person quicker.
Evil.
Yeah.
More evil.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Mortality rates are just over the top. Female deaths in the workplace account for almost none of them because they don't do any of those horrendously stressful and over the top jobs. They just don't. They're not equipped for that. That's not their thing. So what Stephen's doing is he's drawing a parallel to kind of show you this. He's saying if it's the case that men can be drafted, right, and sent to war, and every man must sign up for the draft, so they all have the potential to go to war, then why can women who can't be drafted vote to send men to war? Isn't that fundamentally unfair from the prism of both the feminists? But isn't that also devaluing men? They're saying that men are cogs, which can now be used for women who are elevated above them and elevated away from what their goals are supposed to be in society. And that makes a lot of sense when you start to break it down, doesn't it?
Well, here's my question now. So, of course, I get that one piece, but what about all the other stuff that goes along with it? Then women have no say in how their society functions or who leads them. Or, so, for example, if I was still living in California, I do not want a governor.
This is the thing where women had say in how society functioned by picking the man, right? That's how they have a say. So the man that they pick is essentially, he's like the voter, or he's the one who leads the family. So if you pick a good man, right, and if, let's say, hypothetically, majority of women pick good men, you are pretty much helping determine how society will go, okay? Right? Because imagine this, where you pick men that are morally sound, men that are gentlemen, men that are good fathers, good husbands. Guess how you think society will go? We'll be creating the next generation of good husbands, good fathers, gentlemen, chivalrous men. All right. But guess what? Women didn't want to do that. So now we have a generation of men that are dejected. Chivalry's gone. That's dead because of women. Being a gentleman is gone. That's dead because of women. Good fathers. Women are picking shitty men to be single mothers too, right? So again, women don't realize that they want to gain power, but how they're gaining power is actually how they're destroying our world.
Yep, they're destroying the world, and that I've seen this lady before. I don't care for her. I'm just put that out. I don't really care for her, but you see what she just did. What I was saying, Andrew Wilson made a good point about signing up for the draft when you vote, and her response was to move the goalposts. Oh, we'll talk about this now. We'll talk about this now, and that's why. Number one, I think I'm gonna come out and say I think that's why certain people are against women leadership, because it's not I'm gonna stay on the right side. It's I'm on the right side. I'm on the left side. It's whatever they can benefit from. That's what they're doing. They're not. I'm just, like I said, I'm just in bizarre world when it comes to this particular subject, because I know men and women work together to achieve a goal. That's what I know. That's what I seen with my eyes. And I don't think they're getting the results that they want to get, or they're not going to. They're going to, like you said, they're going to destroy the society, and then they're really going to be in trouble because they're not equal to men. If they destroy this society, all the good men are going to be worried about protecting themselves, not women.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing that more and more now, right? We're seeing if men see women, I mean, like, how many times we see videos, and I've shown them plenty too, where women are in trouble or women need help with anything. Men are ignoring. Men are just walking away. And I'm sorry, that's not because of men. That's because of women. I've said this so many times. Men haven't changed. They adapt, right? It's women who have changed. Women change, so men just go along with it. They're just like, okay, fine. You're strong, independent. Okay, cool. I won't bother. You don't want me to. You don't want me to hit on you. No cat calling. Stay away from you. Okay, good. We will stay away. We won't bother you. And then you're saying women's like, oh, why aren't men getting up so I can get a seat in a bus or a train? Well, girl, you're strong, independent, right? You don't need any of that stuff. And we're seeing it, right? We're seeing like thing where, you know what? I'm not saying it's a good thing, but we're seeing men. If you lay a hand on a man, he's gonna strike back, because he doesn't see you as a woman. He sees you as an equal, right? That's the path that I believe. It's not because of men, it's because of women. So
yeah.
That replicates the policies of Gavin Newsom, right? I would want to vote on that. That would mean a lot to me, because
well, who do you think votes Democrat in California?
I know, but all the more reason why you should want votes that go in the opposite direction. The point being, like, yes, I appreciate the draft component.
The problem is majority of women don't go to opposite direction. I believe I haven't looked at the stats, so I could be wrong, but I believe majority of women, right, vote Democrat. So really, thanks to the only reason why Trump or any Republican ever gets nominated or have a position is because men vote them in, right? Isn't women, right? Women may help, but again, it's a small percentage of women, so we can't rely on women to vote correctly. Women will vote because how they feel.
Yep. It's the WNBA argument over again. If you women are equal, support the WNBA. So they're not poor. So they're not losing like $40 million a year. How about that? You know what I'm saying?
You can't rely on women. You can't rely
I
on
just
women
think
for
it's
it.
crazy. I just think it's crazy. It's crazy.
By the way, quick
Support.
sidebar. I thought there was a conversation to draft women because I had this conversation with Sebastian Younger, like in
The military wouldn't want to do it because let's just say they did.
Okay.
Just kind of grant that they did. They're still not going to send women into combat roles. And so it's the fundamental unfairness would still be there. And the reason they can't do that, right, is if you had a real war, not like playing in the sand where you have 2,500 deaths in 10 years, but like a real war. The first thing that the enemy would do to demoralize your troops is they would capture your female soldiers. They would send them home pregnant. Like that's factually what they would do.
Yeah.
I know I'm being very blunt here.
No, I know.
But that is in fact what they would do. And so they're never going to have in mass women in frontline roles in combat, even where they proclaim that that's the case. The distinctions between the soldiers are so over the top about the fact that I want to have say in society. I want to have say in what's going on with the social order. I want to have say in what's going on. I think that's a fair criticism from a feminist position, but I'm going to give you some counter evidence here that might maybe change your mind.
Okay.
Before women could vote, they passed they got an amendment passed, and the amendment was to ban alcohol in the United States. That was the amendment that they got passed before the 19th. So before they were ever even allowed to vote, they had so much influence in society that they were still able to do one of the rarest and most difficult things to do politically, which was pass an amendment, get one passed. That was women and the women's temperance movement that did that. And the reason women had so much more authority in society and control in society absent the vote, the anti-suffragettes, the ones who were against women voting, which were mostly women, by the way, made this.
So this is the thing, where, like that's why there's so much smarter people, right? He even said that if women wanted to do something, they could do it. They didn't need the voting ability to do it, right? It's because, in my honest opinion, women today, they're very fractured, right? They don't agree with anything, right? And the problem, there was a time period where all women, or a majority of women got together and they agreed on something. This is the thing where just like, they want bank accounts. Guess why women didn't have bank accounts before? They didn't have jobs. But guess what they had? They had loving husbands. They had husbands, right? Husbands were paying for everything. It's not like women didn't get what they want. Husbands were paying for it. Guess what women have today? Debt, right? Women are growing in debt. Women are outpacing men in debt. I believe in the next 10 years, women will 100% have more debt in everything, right? I think women are growing debt in colleges, in credit cards. So really great. That's what women want. That's the freedom of women want, debt. Right? That's the lie that society has told women. Yes, gain your freedom, right? Have equal rights. Now you have debt. Amazing.
Now go
back
to
in the
debt.
day, your husband had your debt, right? The husband had the debt. He had to bear the burden of the debt. Now, okay, now women are bearing the burden. It's like, this is the thing when women think, oh, women had no rights, women's lives were terrible. No, it wasn't. Right? Like we said in the beginning, right? Men created society so it can benefit women, but women just were greedy. That's
Not
the
enough.
thing. Women were greedy.
I'm gonna say something. You can't be number one, but be treated like number three. That's what children do. That's why people equate, and it's messed up. I don't necessarily. I won't see now. I agree with the statement, but in the past, I wouldn't agree with the statement that a lot of women are children. Now, yes, because you don't get the power you don't get deciding power and get treated like a princess and do nothing. You don't get to be lazy and have a say. Really, I'm sorry. Like people. A lot of women don't want to hear it because it doesn't fit their narrative, but that's not how the world works. You don't get to sit in the back seat and control what lane the driver is going in. You don't. Either you drive or you sit in the back. That's I blame men because it's like you said, men in certain respects had made civilization safe for women and children. I don't blame them for that, but I blame them for not cutting it off. It's a point where enough is enough. Look, okay, you wanted this, you wanted that. Okay, you got this and you got that. Now that's all you're gonna get. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
you gotta treat them like children. I'm sorry, and it's messed up. And that's why I'm not in a relationship because I don't want to treat nobody like a child. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
yeah, exactly.
I shouldn't have to do and say XYZ for her to move and do what she gotta do. She should be my see. I don't believe in partnership like these people
Uh-huh.
believe in partnership. You know what I'm saying? We all don't
Mhm.
get equal vote and stuff. It's like if you want an equal vote, pay with your way. That's my
Mhm.
thing. I'm not saying
Yeah,
just need to tell them that if you want this and that, you're gonna have to pay. Period. You're gonna have to pay. You want to be all this stuff, and so they're giving them this stuff, and it's destroying civilization, and it's destroying relationships between people instead of just telling them you're tripping. You're tripping. Somebody, certain people won't listen to their mate. They will only listen to a higher figure, most likely white figure, and that's what it is. And that's what's messed up to me. It's like you want to hold on to the patriarchy when it benefits you, but then get rid of it when it doesn't. That's a child. That's what a child does.
I agree. I agree.
Point pretty precisely. They said, well, we have the moral high ground. So we're looked to as the moral figures of society. We're the matrons of society. Even bad men love their mamas, right? And when we say that there's something here that's going on that's morally deviant or you need to morally stray away from or things like this, society really stops and listens because we're not cogs in the political wheel. And they really have that sort of authority. So I would argue that women actually pre universal suffrage had a much larger say over how society looked and how it was shaped and their influence in it than they do now that they're just considered a voting bloc to be pandered to. So that would be my argument back. Most wallets still plug into the same system in your app store.
It's now to our own detriment because we're feminizing kids in school. You've got this very female sort of ideology. Corolla talks about it, about how we don't let boys be boys, we don't let men be men. So I would almost suggest that we have too much influence socially, and you're even making a case.
So wouldn't we lessen that through lessening voting privileges for?
No, I think we would lessen that.
No,
I would say, but we're not voting on these things. This is like an ideology. We're not voting on how we're teaching our kids in schools or what we are.
But we do. There's a gender divide in voting, massive, sex gender divide, not gender the way progressives use it. I'm just using interchangeably with sex here. But there's a divide between how men and women vote, and women overwhelmingly vote left, and men don't. And so the thing is it's because we see the prism of the world differently.
Okay.
When you think about how early America was structured, nobody was allowed to vote except stakeholders inside of the United States. They didn't let anybody vote. They didn't care if it's man or woman. And men only got the right to vote universally shortly before women did. It's not like they were always able to. Most men could never vote either. The idea here that the founders had was that inside of this nation, they did not trust the electorate to make great decisions. The states were the ones who sent up the elected officials, not the people. That was never how it was designed to work inside the republic anyway. So what's happened with the expansion of voting rights and universal suffrage is you've given complete morons now the ability to have a say over your life. And like, let me give you an example of this. Why should an 18-year-old be able to negate your vote? Why? Like, is an 18-year-old smart enough to actually make an informed decision that negates your well-informed vote? Don't you think that that's really stupid and counterproductive and counterintuitive? And it's recent. Like, this is a product of modernity. It's not like this was always this way. It's only been recently this way. Why do we even bother? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Why wouldn't you at least wait until a person was in their 30s to vote, or they had some stake in society, male or female, before they were allowed to even cast a vote? Why does this idea that everybody, just because they're alive, needs to have a say in everything? We don't run society that way with anything else. For instance, you're a person who knows a lot about fitness. I know a lot about eating, but I don't know a lot about fitness. Okay, but what I can tell you is that if I went in to wherever you were giving a class on fitness and I decided to weigh in on whatever that was, why would I be taken seriously? Right? I'm not informed enough to be going in and trying to tell you what's what in that capacity. That's not my place. It's not my domain. And why wouldn't we do voting the same way or political participation? This is one of those things which is so dogmatic in people. They don't even know why. And it's just because you were raised that way. You're raised to think everybody should have a say. Because you're alive, you should have a say. But when you really start reducing it, it makes less and less sense that everyone has a say. In fact, most people probably shouldn't have a say.
I hear you on this one, but okay, so if I'm not 18-year-old kid, then I'm looking back at you, well, I'm the one they're drafting, so I get a say. Okay.
If you're male.
Okay, so if you say 18-year-old Bill, but as a woman, if you then say, okay, well, you guys might be the ones going into combat, but we're the ones having babies and we're the ones raising children in this world. So
they're not. That's the stupidity. This is the thing where I agree with Andrew, right? I mean, like, I'm sorry, I don't even vote because, to be honest, I'm not informed, right? So I mean, like, sometimes when I do listen to these politicians, they say a whole lot of shit that means a whole lot of nothing. So I don't even vote. I don't care for either side. So I don't even vote for either side because they're not going to do anything for me. They're not going to help me. They're not going to care about me. So I don't care, right? Whatever a Republican goes up there, a Democrat goes up there, they're going to treat me like shit anyway. So I don't care. But exactly that, right? Women, there has been studies to show that women don't even vote on policies, right? They vote on feelings. If you can make women feel good, they will vote for you. That is it. Right. And here's the thing where this is the insanity. This woman brings up child. Oh, you know what? 18 women aren't. Less and less women are having children today. So really, your one argument is invalid because women aren't even doing that. Right. So you can't say women are having kids, women being mothers. No, they're not. Like I said, birth rates are down, marriages are down, divorces are high. So women don't even have that, right, as their ammo, right, as the bullet in their gun to use, because they're not even doing that. So really, why would you have a right to vote, or why would you even vote? Because, you know, like I said, I could understand men doing it, even 18-year-old men, because yes, it could be their life on the line if, you know, that kind of draft kind of thing happens.
You know, the crazy thing is when the when the PC culture started to come in, I had a feeling in the back of my mind we were done for, because
Yeah.
everybody don't get a trophy. That is not
Oh
excellence.
God.
Everybody doesn't get a trophy. Everybody see this is the problem, and I go through this because I talk, I talk and I talk to people and stuff, and the problem is everybody's opinion don't matter. I'm
Mhm.
sorry. People don't want to hear the harsh truths that has kept humanity safe for thousands of years. And that is a harsh reality that if you don't know nothing, you need to be shutting up.
Mhm.
Don't get involved in the stuff when you clearly have everybody's opinion don't matter. You know what I'm saying? And usually you can tell within it's two things these people do. They talk for a long time, and you be like, by the time they're done talking, you're like, I don't even remember what I was going to say. And then number two, they do what she was doing at the beginning, cutting him off, cutting him off, cutting him off. That's my pet peeve. If we're going to have a conversation, let's have a conversation. That
Mhm.
means I talk, you talk. I
Mhm.
talk, you talk. Stop
Yeah.
cutting me off. I'm not even getting to get to my point because you're cutting me off before I even get to my point. And you think I'm to the point now where I believe these people know what they're doing.
Mhm.
A
Mhm.
lot of them
Mhm.
know what they're doing. They know that if I keep on moving the goalposts, I don't lose. I win. And that's the game they're playing. They're playing the game of I win, and the people who are above, they're like, yeah, you win, and you're sending my kid to college. That's what's going on. And it said to me that women want to claim to be so much smarter than men, but they fall for the easiest joke. They just fall for this crap all the time. Oh, when you're feelings based, you're gonna lose. My old head told me that a long time ago. If you're feelings based, if you can't control your ego, you're gonna lose, and it's places for you in the cemetery or in jail. That's what I was taught coming up. If you don't have accountability, and if you, I don't know, man, it's a little crazy to me. When you look at the stuff that's going on, it's a little crazy
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
we should have a say. Like, if we play this game of tit for tat, well, you do this, oh yeah, well, I only do that. So then I only get a right to say what happens with kids. That, like, I just don't know where that goes. And then the problem is that voting is
Well, I can tell you where it goes.
okay, because voting isn't
so
specific though. It's not like just fitness. It's not narrow. It's broad. It's everything.
Yeah, that makes it worse. The fact that you let 18-year-olds have more of a say over things that they definitely don't know anything about. Like, for instance, don't you think there's something fundamentally unfair about the fact that inside of a locality, people can go and vote let's say there's more renters in an area than there are owners, that the renters can go and up the property taxes of the owners, thus exempting themselves from the tax that then they get the windfall of, right? This is not the way that we were supposed to set this nation up. We're not supposed to set the nation up as a small conglomeration of voting blocks who are all in an infinite war with each other over power. That's what universal suffrage did. It was a terrible idea for men and women, by the way. I don't think that either of them should just have some universal right to vote. That's silly. And if you're going to structure society, right now in the United States, our birth rate's in the toilet. The reason we have a mass migration problem is because we can't reproduce ourselves. What we do is we take women in their childbearing years, that's going to be their 20s, and tell them to go to college. Well, what they do is they waste all of their childbearing years, usually up until 27, 28, going through school and then establishing a career. They don't even have their first child until 29, 30, 31, 32. Well, if you're going to have a good rebound from childbirth, if you do it at 22, as you probably know, it's a lot easier for women than if they do it at 32 or 35. They rebound much quicker. They can have many more children. They can establish themselves much earlier in these family dynamics. What I'm looking at is the overage of what's good for society in general. You can have the kids. We can't. But we can do the wars, and you can't. We can do the protection. You can't. Women have an elevation of privilege inside society that men don't have. When the Titanic goes down, men are set as the expendable fixture in society, and women the privilege. But you can't ask for the privilege and then not reciprocate that men have the authority. And so the idea is who has the authority. You can have either privilege or authority, but you can't have both.
Okay. So
women want both. Hi, that is the thing. Women want you to get up. If you're on a bus, get up and give them a seat. And also, right, respect them and not holler at them, not try to hit on them, not try to tell them what to do, whatever, right? Women want the privilege, okay? Women want both. And that's the insanity of modern day women, okay? That is the insanity.
Yeah, they want both, and you can't have both. You could have both, but not at the same time. You can't have it all at the same time. If you want a family in your 20s, start a family. By the time your children go to school, then be about your career.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to do. That's what you want to do.
Yeah.
Be smart. Hey, Andrew said something that I wanted to speak on, but I forgot. Sorry, my bad. I forgot. It's just crazy. But you can't have both at the same time, man. That's his life. That's reality. And I think that's the problem. Women, we have made it to where women don't live in reality. Not all, but some don't live in reality.
I think a good amount. Definitely.
Yeah. Yes, I think a good amount also. And I think that like I said, I think if women were as smart as they claim they are, they would look around and be like, hold up, child support is destroying my legacy. Hold up, me voting and working is destroying. They would see but they benefit. They benefit. That's all they want to do. And I'm to the point. Look, people say whatever, but I'm to the point where we have to make people accountable. If a woman puts her hands on me and we're in Florida or whatever, she's going to jail.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Stop saving these people. Stop what's having in these 304s, man. I'm gonna put it on a shirt. Stop what's having in these 304s.
Yes.
Stop it.
Exactly.
22, I'm going to be the worst parent on the planet.
What?
Well, I mean, I would have been.
Why?
Oh my God, I was just complete. We're saying 18-year-olds can't vote. We want them 4 years later to raise a kid. I certainly didn't have the mental capacity.
Well, I mean, that's 4 years. If you raise the voting age to like 24 or 25, that would be a lot better.
I don't know.
Sure.
My mom had me at 25. I think, listen, I'm glad to be alive, but I definitely think I could have benefited from a little more maturity there. I would question. I get what you're saying from a biological perspective. From a psychological perspective, I think there's a lot more maturity that comes along with a little bit of age. I wonder, where the sweet spot is, and everybody's ready for kids at a different time.
But I mean, do you want people to have to raise kids in their 50s and 60s?
What if you did?
Think about how silly that is. Like, why wouldn't you want people? Like, for me, I had my children young. Okay, I'm gonna be done, right? Like, I'm gonna be done in my early 40s. Then go travel, go do this, go do that, go do whatever I want. And it's like, look, the truth is that children, for one thing, they're good for parents. They help with that maturation process. They don't take away from it. They assist with it. They assist with the responsibility process. They help with all of those things. Also, it's actually, in many cases, I would argue, good to have youthful parents. They can chase you around. They can help you with this. They can help you with that. The one downside now is that they don't have as many resources, which is why there's more age gap relationships going on, which I don't have a big issue with. But I'm just pointing out that that seems backwards to me. It seems like if you want to structure society, you want to structure society around having the most amount of children for your nation. That's going to drastically increase your tax base. It's going to increase patriotism. It's going to increase the wholesome American family unit, which is the backbone of American society. It's going to do all these things that you want to do to help fix these issues. And yet, for some reason, just generally, progressives are very resistant to this. And I think it's because indoctrination towards the youth through the school system is why you see so many women vote left. The institutions are completely indoctrinated with left-wing think tanks. And so why wouldn't they encourage all women to go to college? That's where they're going to be able to get their best voting bloc.
Okay.
See, that's the insanity of it. That's the insanity of it. That's the thing where, I believe this is the danger, right? Where they want to, there's the propaganda, right? They want you, just like why they want illegal immigrants here. What are all this stuff? It's the voting, right? They want these people so they can vote for the shit, and they don't care about you. They don't give a shit about you at all. They just want you to vote. This is why
My thing is
dangerous.
I'm sorry. My thing is that age does not equate maturity. When I was 21, I was a piece of work. Okay. I had my first daughter when I was like 21, 22. She saved my life. I was like, I have to be here for her. She saved my life. Age doesn't equate to maturity.
Yes.
And they keep on saying it. Well, they think their age means anything, but you're used up. And that's what it means. Men and women, really. But it's kind of different because a 50-year-old man can get a 22-year-old woman and she will get on his page.
Yeah. My brother, I mean, I'm telling you, I say like travel the world, right? Get a passport, travel the world, because honestly, there's better women out there. All right, let's move on to the video of tonight. I really wanted to talk about. It's a long video, so this is why I started early. Hopefully we can finish it, but if we can't, it's all good. But I think it might be a really good video, right? A video, Anton, on Tasha K. I don't really know her that well. Is on her video on her channel. So I think I saw a TikTok clip of it, and it just made me like, yeah, I want to check it out. I wanted to check it out because Anton is badass, right? I mean, I don't agree on everything he says, but I agree on a lot of things he says. So I think he's a great role model for the Black community. Okay, a family-oriented man. A man about money, a man about success, a man that's not about victimhood, right? A man that like about, you gotta work hard, you gotta pick yourself up the bootstrap and shit like that. So I think he's a great example. All right, let's start it.
We got Anton Daniels here. This is, I didn't tell nobody we was doing an interview. Did you tell somebody we was on? What?
But I mean, the reason why I think it's fair is because I don't take stuff personal from a content creation perspective. Like I get it.
All his algorithms.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people get easily offended at most things. I'm not one of those type of people. I've been doing it too long, I understand.
How long you been doing this, Anton?
12, 13 years.
Okay, longer than me.
I've been on, but when
I first, YouTube 12, 13 years?
Yeah, but when I first started doing it, I was still in corporate America. So I couldn't really say the stuff that I really wanted to say because it would affect my bag and what I was doing and what I was building, right? Because I worked at banks, even though I was in information technology services, user experience, and then I worked my way up through that, and then eventually I retired in 2019. Okay. Right before the pandemic, I didn't know the pandemic was coming, but I retired in 2019.
Oh, look at you got out there, you got in quick, didn't you?
Yeah, I was 37.
Okay.
When I retired, so but I went broke in 08, and then I retired at 37, 2019.
I went broke in 08. I bankruptcy in 08.
I think everybody went broke.
This is my second bankruptcy, but I ain't broke enough.
Well, bankruptcy don't mean that you broke.
I just like to flex on that shit. Yeah. You gotta have money to file a type of bankruptcy. I have, bitch.
That is true.
So the thing is, like, but we just ain't got it all to give everybody at one time. So, you know what I'm saying? You got to get in line, baby. You got to get bottom line, like
with no fear.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what that is.
Everybody's equal. We all piss shit, bleed the same. All got the same.
Most content creators ain't like that. A lot of them they so busy trying to be friends with each other.
No.
That they can't be real and be honest.
Even if I'm your friend, I'm still gonna be real with you. Yeah. Like, right? The internet is slaughtering her name right now.
Absolutely.
Right.
But I think it's unjustified because, well, I mean, you know what the internet is, right? Mm-hmm. First of all, I have to take a little bit of responsibility that
TBD, what is up, my brother? What is up? I think maybe next week, right? Next week we will do the whole Next week, Wednesday, I think we will do the whole Muslim and London, UK talk. So tell me if you're good for next week, right? I definitely want to talk about how I believe that Muslims are trying to take over the world. So and they're starting with the UK first. I believe Muslims are slowly trying to take over the UK, and they will be spreading over to the other parts of the world, parts of the Western Hemisphere. So if you could do it next week, we'll definitely do it next week.
Because I'm infamous right now, and it's for a lot of different reasons. One of the reasons I think is because of my political perspective, and that don't sit well with the Black community.
Are you a Trumper?
Absolutely. I'm Republican, conservative to my heart.
Okay.
And I think that I helped swing the election in Michigan.
Okay.
And because I'm an equal accountability smoke giver, people don't like that. They don't like it when I speak on the degeneracy of the culture. They don't like it when I talk about that. So, I got a lot of people with bullseyes on me, and that's cool. I'm with that.
I mean, but when I say the headlines, I really didn't see any smoke with you until the Corey Holcomb situation blew up.
Yeah, naturally.
And the reason I reached out is because I like the way that you handled him. You called him bluff on his own show, and he didn't meet you at the back door.
I don't think that Corey Holcomb has been selling an image for a long time now. A very, very long time. And even to the point to where he had threatened women, he had threatened people. But see, that's one of the reasons.
Say that again.
He will. He had threatened women, he had threatened a lot of different people.
Okay.
But see, the thing about me is that I come from two different types of backgrounds, right? I was raised in Detroit, Michigan, which is a largely overwhelmingly Black city. It's one of the blackest cities in the United States of America. Yeah, I'm with it. So she don't try to give me tips.
You're going. Try.
But I come from the inner city of Detroit, but then at the same time, thank you, baby.
You know how to taste that?
I don't. I'm new to this.
So you're gonna
Like
swirl
this.
it, swirl it around, smell it.
Good. Real people, no matter how deep you in it, nobody want to be in the hood for the rest of their life. Right? So that's the goal, is to get out of the hood. It's to get out of, in most instances, it's to get out of those certain environments. So I was the kid in my family that was like, yo, Anton is going to be something. We got to make sure that we protect him. We got to make sure he don't get caught up in the nonsense. So even when I was in middle school, when I started getting caught up, my parents sent me to private school for 7th and 8th grade. And then I went back to public school in high school and I went to Cass Tech. So it's one of the most prominent schools in Detroit, public schools. So I come from an environment where you fight if you have to, but that's not something that you look for. You know what I'm saying? So when I pulled up to his show, first of all, I talked to him on the phone. Well, let me back up a little bit. He had been asking me to come on the show for a long time, like more than a month and a half, 2 months before I even got in contact with him. Okay. So I sent him a DM and then I sent him a super chat and I was like, hey, I'm gonna be over on the West Coast. Let's go ahead and do it again because I prefer to do it in person. I don't want to do live streams. So he hit me up through some mutual people that we know together, and he was like, let's do it. I know we got opposing views. I hope you're not recording this phone call. All of this. Well, because he was throwing certain people under the bus, right? Right. So he threw Dave Chappelle under the bus. Tommy Sotomayor, he told me that don't ever mess with him because he's a snake. So he's telling me all of this stuff, right? And of course I didn't record it because I don't record phone calls. I think that's female behavior. But he was like, yo, we don't have a dynamic show because we don't completely different views and we might clash. I'm like, okay, that's cool. So I get out there and Mika, she was supposed to be signing to me, right? She was supposed to be signing to me as a content creator because we create content on one of my channels. I help her out or whatever. And so I was supposed to be, she's one of my people. I'm starting a new company and all that. So I told her, I said, listen, I was supposed to do No Jumper and I was supposed to do the Corey Holcomb. That's why I was on the West Coast. I was gonna knock them out at the same time. So I told her, I said, listen, I'm gonna bring you out and hopefully I'm gonna get you some visibility. And then that'll help you, get your platform more visibility. And that way you won't just depend on me. You'll be able to jump off on your own, right? So I brought her off. Adam, 22, he wound up not being able to do it. I guess he had a fight, his boxing match or whatever. So he said, yo, let's reschedule. And then we was gonna do the Corey Holcomb thing. So they gave me a time, got out there on time. Actually, I was a little bit early. I was like 5-10 minutes early. He shows up a half hour, 45 minutes later to his own thing. In the meantime, I have an opportunity to see everything, kick it with Darlene, kick it with everybody that's on the show. I tell Mika, I said, listen, I'm gonna talk to Corey, which that's my fault, right? Because I talked to his people and they was like, well, we don't talk to Corey and ask him if she could be visible on the platform since he asked you to be here. And I'm like, all right, cool. Let's just come out here. Let's just chill. Mika flew out the day before because I was already out in LA. So she came out the day before because No Jumper got canceled. So it wasn't no point in her being out there. And, I asked Corey beforehand, I'm like, yo, is it cool that she be on the platform? And he was like, we'll see, whatever, so on and so forth. But either way, I was going to respect his opinion because it's his platform and I'm a guest on his platform. So I told Mika, I said, yo, just chill. I had, security there or whatever. Just chill. If it happened, if it don't, it don't. Sometimes you take risks, sometimes it works out, sometimes it don't. So he was like, cool, I ain't tripping about it. And then everything played out the way that it played out. So
you feel like,
but I think he a hoe for that though.
You didn't feel like he set you up for views?
Well, he thought that's the reason why I gave you the backstory of where I was from is because he thinks that just because I'm a family man. I don't have no children out of wedlock. I advocate for people to do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? All of that type of stuff. He took it for weakness. And so a lot of people don't even realize, if you go back and you replay it, he disrespected me first. He said, yo, you kiss white people ass, or you kiss the ass of white men. And then that's when it jumped off. And that's when I was like, oh, you suck with black people then. So he
because I always saw your part. I didn't miss that.
Go back and watch it. It was cool. First of all, he was late, whatever, so on and so forth. He didn't trip on none of that. And then when we started having conversations and we started getting into it, he started getting in over his head because he can't actually articulate a point or debate anything, right?
What I'm saying, bitch.
Yeah. So he caters to.
You know, this is the thing where I've said this countless times before. I think the black community is the coolest community around. They are mad ass cool. Okay, I love the black community. Hell, I've dated predominantly black women in my past. I have I have 2 baby mamas, nothing to be proud about. And 1 baby mom is black, right? So I have black kids, mixed kids. So it's not that I hate black people. So when I'm critical of black people, it's not from hate, it's from love, because I think black people are the coolest community around. They are mad cool. I have black friends. I'll give you my history. It's like, I love black people. So when I say shit, it's not because I hate them. Okay, it's because I love them and I want better for them. So when I have videos that I'm critical of black people, oh, you know, you're just doing it for white man. I don't give a shit about the white man. I don't even have white friends. I don't even know white people. I know more black people than I know white people. Right? In my life, personal life, I know black people than I see black people, and I'm friends with black people. I talk to black people more than I ever talk to white people in my whole life. White people means nothing to me. I don't give a shit about white people. And that's the problem with people, with the black people that are critical with me, that says, oh, all this stuff, you know, you're the model minority. You want to suck up to the white man. I don't give a shit about the white man. Right? I'm doing good. The white man does not help me or do anything for me. My thing is that I want better for the black community, right? I don't want to see, the victimhood. Oh, it's racism, this, slavery, that. That's why I can't succeed. That's the thing that bothers me, because I know young black men, right, that single mother, live in the hood, right, grew up in the hood, and they're succeeding not because of whether not because nothing about the white man. It's because of hard work, getting education, pushing themselves, and that's why I want for more black men and even black women. Right? That's the thing. So this is why when I see, let's say, black on black crime, stealing, thievery, beating up each other, all that shit. So I'm going to talk about this shit because that's the problem. That's the detriment. That's what hurting a community that I honestly love. Right? I honestly love the black community. When I was growing up, going to high school, I didn't even hang out with Asian people because I thought they were too cliquey. I thought they were like too, they weren't really friendly, right? I hanged out with the black people. I hang out with black kids. I had black best friends because honestly, they were more welcoming. That's why I love the black people. And so when I hear black mothers come crying to me because they got shot, and guess who got shot them? Not the police, another black man, right? Or when they got hooked on drugs or any of that shit. That's when I'm like, I want to have a voice and say something to hopefully, stir a different kind of conversation where we need to stop thinking about the white man and think about the actual problems in the black community, in the minority community. This is another thing where I hate how the left is doing, right? They constantly think about, oh, it's racism. No, it's not racism. Today, in today's day and age, racism isn't stopping you from succeeding. It is you.
I agree. Racism is really not the problem anymore. Um, Anton Daniels, I like him. About 80% of what he says, I think is okay. About 10%, I think he's deluded in some way. But another 10%, I think he's kind of kowtowing. You know what I'm saying? See, and I think in that there's a problem with people like him that is detrimental because their ideology probably is correct, but their I'm so much, he's so nose in the air. I'm sorry, he's a persona to me. I wonder how he really is. I wonder how he really is, because I don't think the way he portrays himself It's the way he actually is. Because you know what? If he acted the way he acted, either it doesn't matter what race, he would not be here if he acted like he acted all the time. I'm sorry, he would. Regardless if he says that certain things I couldn't say because I was in the I was, in the corporate. Regardless of what you say, if this wasn't a persona, you have a black eye like every week. Let's keep it 100. Let's say what it is. Let's keep 100. You would. You're not. In America, I think we have a problem of American arrogance. Everybody wants to be right. Nobody's ever wrong. And that's the stupidest thing ever. And what you were saying about the black community, as long as you run from personal accountability, you're not going to grow. You're dying. If you're not growing and changing, you're dying slowly. That's what people need to realize,
I agree.
The lowest common denominator of people that don't know anything. So I don't think he knew what he was getting himself into. And when it started getting over his head, and then he started getting disrespectful, that's when I had to, I'm okay, let's get disrespectful then. Is that what we're doing? Then he let's move the chairs. He made Darlene get out of the chair. He don't come up, which from where I'm from, we not about to, I don't care about none of that. Like either you gonna do something or you're not. So the minute that he got out of the chair and he sat down, I'm like, oh, he pump Kool-Aid. He not really like that. All of that, I'm from Chicago and he's just a comedian. He a tough down camera, but he's not real in real life. You know what I'm saying? And when you say, and so we going back and forth. And my biggest thing was YouTube don't like fighting. So I still respect his platform. I told him. I said, I'm gonna respect your platform. Even in the midst of all of it, I said, I'm gonna respect your platform. Because he can get demonetized, he can get his platform removed.
Because y'all were live.
Yeah, it was live. It was in real time. And so after he kept on barking, I'm like, well, listen, we can just go all back. This don't have to be.
You got up so fast, put the chair back in. It was like, let's.
And you know what he did?
He turned around and
he sat down.
He sat down. Oh, no, I ain't.
So at the end of the day, and it's not even about, for me, where I'm from, it's not about winning and losing.
Mm-hmm.
It's about if that's what you really want to do, then we can shoot a fair one. At the end of the day, we ain't got to do it in front of no cameras. All of this internet talk and all of that, we ain't got to do none of that. We can just go out back and figure it out. And the fade is still available if he wants it. But that's
Can we get the boxing match in Miami?
If he wants to get his diabetic ass out here, and that's on everything. All of this talking on the internet, we know he cracked jokes because that's a defense mechanism. Corey Holcomb is see, people don't have it. But whatever it is that he put up.
It goes against everything that you stand for. Being able to pay your equal share. You're an upstanding citizen. You pay your taxes.
I don't know why.
You ain't got no child support. He couldn't even pay his baby mama. He got on the internet and started calling the baby mama and the daughter bitches and telling them they need to get their life together over a $150 increase in child support.
I didn't know that.
Which made it $20. Did you listen to the audio?
I listened to it, but see, that was after the incident had already happened.
Bro.
I went and did some research, right? But I didn't know that he was completely disrespectful towards his own people, his own children. And that was my one miscalculation because, well, first of all,
got nothing to lose.
Well, let me rewind it for you, Tasha. So then he knows that Mika is there in order to try to, get some visibility for the platform and all of that stuff.
What are you trying to do with Mika?
Oh, he ain't trying to do. He can't stop. But it's funny because my wife and Mika is cool. They friends in real life. You know what I'm saying? Like this ain't no secret. And then I told him, hey, can I bring her on the platform? So why would we look at it from a perspective of, oh man, he's hiding this chick? If I ask you, can she come on the platform? It don't even make sense. You know what I'm saying? But he did what some sucker dudes do. Now I understand it from your perspective, right? If you're a woman or you're a woman on the platform, you just want to get the story out, you want to get the tea, all of that stuff. But guys ain't supposed to do that type of shit. We not supposed to, oh man, that's like, what the f is that? So you want to ruin, see, he don't know, but he want to try to ruin families, ruin relationships. Real dudes don't do that type of stuff. That's how I know he a hoe. That's how I know he a hoe, is because dudes we don't move like that. No matter what you do, it's between me and you. It ain't got nothing to do with nobody else in there. But see, he catered to the lowest denominator, and then he wound up putting my daughter on the internet, who's underage. That's the one miscalculation that I made, is that he put my daughter on the internet. And that, like, I don't care what you say about me. None of that matters. But see, when you come from an underage daughter, now what's up?
Are you handling that?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Crossing all T's, dotting all I's. Absolutely. I'm not gonna let that go. I'm never going. You could say whatever. We could figure it out between us. But when you put my family in it, I'm never, ever, ever going to let that go.
And you didn't even go that far. So I do want to put that out. Like, you didn't go as far as pulling family.
I don't do that.
Trying to put side bitches on him. You literally addressed the issue.
He introduced me to his girl in the studio.
You got to tell me that truth.
I can't.
No, I can't.
But you know, I can't because that's man code.
I get it.
I just can't do that. You know what I'm saying?
I'll talk to the missus. Don't worry. We'll have some fun.
But I can't because it's man code. I just don't.
I just want to know what type of bitch laid up with him. What type of woman are you to lay up with a man who is literally on camera punching another woman in the face? What type of person are you to lay up with a man who calls his daughter, who is damn near a nurse practitioner, and says she needs to get her life together? This bitch over $200 worth of child support. and has disowned her because of her mother holding him accountable to take care of her.
I will never, ever, ever. I've been married for 21 years. I will never let my girl's feet hit the ground. My girl ain't worked in 18 years.
As I said, what type of bitch is laying up with a bitch playing in his ass? Because the wife told me the reason she filed for divorce is because she allegedly refused to put fingers in that ass, but that white bitch who was a porn star did. And so for you to lay up with him and she black, bitch.
Well, maybe that's why every show he got to talk about the backdooria and gayness. Maybe that's why he's so easily offended by it.
I think honestly he's DL, and I think so. Yeah, I do. I think he really, the way he loves on men and respects y'all and never hits y'all, but he'll put his hands on a woman, shows that he just loves men more than he loves women. And the way he just talks about his daughter and
well, you know, women can sense that a little bit better than
we can. We know a faggot when we see one. We know one. Corey, you know, a hair.
I don't necessarily agree with that because why women know a DL man when they see one, yet constantly get with DL men. It's
Deal with them.
kind of ridiculous. So
I think this is crazy because regardless of what you want to say, Tasha K is one of the most horrible people, one of the most despicable black women on this earth.
I don't care for her much.
I don't care for her very much, but it's certain things you don't need. Now, Anton, I can understand a little bit more because Corey put his daughter on it.
Yeah.
I
Agree.
can understand that. You do that to me, I got smoke for you. You know what I'm saying? But Tasha K, you're unbecoming. And see, that's what women, just going back to the other video we was watching, that's what women don't understand. If you're if you can't control your ego, if you get caught in your feelings and you can't shut up, that is a problem. And that's what I see in Tasha K. And let's keep it 100. I think that's a person. I think that's a persona also. You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah, that's why I don't 100% trust people who's online because I mean when you're a certain at a certain peak in your career, you gotta toe the line. So you gotta be a certain type of person. Right. So this is why I don't mind, if I'm small, I'm small, but I want to be who I want to be. So that's why,
yeah, I want to be able to say the truth. I don't want to not say the truth because I'm gonna lose a sponsor or whatever. That's just me. That's just me. And I think that she's not being becoming of a host. She's a horrible woman to me. And if she's not faking, then her husband is a horrible person also. I'm just gonna say
I just think it's probably a modern relationship. I don't think it's like the partnership, right? He's definitely not leading a relationship, so it's just how the modern is, right? I mean, and you got to think about this. I believe that she's the one who's making the money in that relationship, so you got to understand the dynamic, right? When women make the money, they control the relationship.
But look, if you're in a relationship with a woman and she's making the money, but she's a horrible person, I mean, I can't. I can't.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree. I mean,
right is right and wrong is wrong to me.
But certain men
I think that's wrong.
Certain men can throw away their principles, their morals, their masculinity for that money. So, what can you say? What can you say?
I just think it's very sad that we was raising families. We was raising a family of 6 over one person's income. You know what I'm saying? And now we put money to such a high level that I was talking to somebody and I said this the other day that most women don't understand. If you want a millionaire, a ready-made millionaire, you're going to do what he says. He's not dealing with your crap. He's not going to deal with your crap. He and it's kind of messed up, but really, it's the truth. He really actually kind of don't care what you think. You take this money and you do what you take this money and get your hair done. That's it. That's in terms of your relationship, actually. And as long as you want money and ready-made men, you're going to be a concubine. You're not going to be the head first lady. They want to be the first lady, but then act like concubines. That's what I can't understand. It's like it has to be some. We've gotten to a point where it's no self-regulation. Do what you want. It's hedonism. It's hedonism, man. It's crazy to me. You just do whatever you want to. And I wasn't taught that. When I was coming up, my family and like I said, my OGs told me that look, you better you better regulate your emotions, man, because you go out here and jump in front of the wrong person, you will not be here no more.
True,
And
true, true, true.
I just think it's very sad how our society has been so pussified. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Because
I
just like all the videos, this is my last point. Sorry, just like all of the videos where a guy will come up to a couple and grab the woman's hand,
Oh,
and if you do that
those
to me,
pranks.
yes,
Ah,
and you do that to me, you gonna have a real good video. You going viral because I'm going to jail because I'm putting all hands on you. I'm
no.
sorry, I'm putting hands on you. You walk up on my woman and grab her hand, especially if she snatches. Now if she goes with it. Take her.
Oh,
You need
yeah.
to take her home. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about it. If
No.
she goes for it, you need to take her home. You can have her. You're the better man today. You know what I'm saying? But if she snatches her hand away and she's like, "Oh, come on, man, don't be doing that. You don't hit my man." You know, then it's gonna be a problem. I'll probably put
Yeah.
all kind of pause on you. If me and my girl are shopping and out of the corner of my eye I see another man even approach my woman like that, I'm probably gonna turn around and put hands on him. That's just, and
Mhm.
I don't see that as me being violent or anything. I see that just as
It's
like
respect.
respect.
Yeah, I mean, men should know that you don't disrespect other men and think that nothing happens. No, that's just not how the world works, or not the world where with men work. So yeah, I agree.
It's just crazy, and I just think they're doing too much. My fault.
No, it's all
I
good.
just think they're doing too much. I think they're doing too much as to be on the internet. They're doing a little too much, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying?
I
You
think
have
so.
to have a certain level of class
I agree.
to to. And what gets me is that the most degenerate people have the biggest following. I don't understand that about humanity. You know,
Yeah, I mean that's the thing where we are changing, right? That we are definitely changing a society where they want to push the buttons, they want the quick and the quick endorphins, right? It's the quick entertainment. I think it's like less lectural, intellectual, less intelligence, and just more like brainless fun, which I think that's a detriment to society. Right? I really think that's not a good thing for how societies work. Because I think, to be honest, I think kids are stupider, right, than past generation of kids. So I don't know.
I say all the time, the test to be a PhD 100 years ago was 20 times harder than it is today. Something's wrong with that. How are we supposed to believe that they were so primitive in the past, but they had so much more knowledge and they conducted themselves so much better than we do today? And we
Mhm.
suppose we live in an information age. Anything you want to find out, you can find out
But the
pretty much
problem is
within
that
reason.
because the problem is that now we kids are using ChatGPT to do everything. They're not studying anything. They're not learning nothing. So I don't know.
The part about it,
I agree.
and he has a bunch of people that is trying to get on, trying to get some visibility, and they reaffirm it right there. It's confirmation bias. They're basically enabling the bad behavior, and they're continuing to build up the monster. You don't have no. I told him that on the show. I said you don't have nobody that holds you accountable.
You don't have nobody that loves. I don't think he has anybody that truly loves him, because anybody that
But if
loves
they loved you, they would hold you accountable,
hold
right?
you accountable.
Right.
And so for Corey, like, I've had people trying to bring us. Please, you gotta talk to him. Please, you gotta talk to him. And I'm like, why do I need to talk to him?
Oh, Corey.
Yeah.
I don't believe in peace. I believe you destroy completely.
I do not know what we would talk about.
I believe that there's certain. This is the part.
He got to run my husband to fade first because
you know.
of all the shit he said. So, like, if you apologize to him, like I told Black 100, and Black 100 issued that apology, but I still didn't grant him the platform when he asked and wanted to pay me to sit down. I said, sir, you have to first apologize to my husband for saying that you me.
Yeah.
And second of all, he said that. He said that me and Tasha, I've never met this man in my life, never seen him.
That's crazy.
And then I thank God for Adam 22. Adam 22 was like, when he said that, I called him a liar right there. I knew he didn't. Yeah. Because he got upset because his girlfriend reached out to me.
I don't understand that either, though.
Yeah.
I don't understand guys that pillow talk.
Even if it's a pillow talk.
Let's say hypothetically it's 100% true.
Right.
I don't respect guys that name names of the women that they have relationships with.
I guess I thought that, I don't know, that would somehow damage my credibility, but luckily for my viewers, they were like, if Tasha fucked you, she would have told us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I don't respect guys that clout chase and name names of women, hypothetically, knowing, because obviously we both know that he didn't, but I don't respect that either.
I get it, but that's what they do. They will say any and everything to grab whether it's good attention or bad attention, and not understanding if you already got the public's attention,
right?
Use it to do good.
No, that's not gonna happen.
Do you understand?
It's not gonna happen. You have to get it for the platform. You know what I'm saying? I got a bunch of people that create content on one of my channels, and we do panels and all of that stuff. So, and I mean, I just check on people. I'm like, yo, you good? Is everything good?
I got you.
How's your mental and all that stuff?
So the interview that took place the other night was a very intense interview because I took an approach as I took myself out of the situation. Well, I took Tasha K out of the situation.
You didn't take Tasha K.
I did. I did. I took Tasha K out of the situation. I approached her as Latasha Kiwi. I'm a married woman. I've been married 20 years.
I've never known your real name.
Latasha Kiwi. Latasha Transrena Kiwi. I know. Transrena means the transfer of love.
Okay.
Yes. So, and I said, I looked at her profile and I said, you do content? She's like, yeah. So what's the content? And then she goes, oh, it's on this page. I said, oh, okay. So when did you meet Anton? And then she was like, what? My viewers had told him to reach out to me, and he reached out to me. And I was like, well, how many followers did you have at the time? And she was like, 1,200. I said, so what was the content that he saw? And she goes, I don't know. Maybe he saw me on TV. I said, well, how did he see you on TV?
She was I guess maybe a correspondent.
Yes. I said, so she was like, maybe he saw the clips that I did in DC. I said, but he's in Detroit. That's local news.
Yeah.
I said, Mika, do you realize you got pretty privilege?
She does.
I said, do you think Anton, if you were ugly, would have reached out to you?
No.
Thank you.
Absolutely not.
But she played oblivious to this.
Oh.
So that's when I had to get a little, you'll see it. You'll see it. Because I told her.
Be good.
Evil Eddie, what is up, my brother? What is up? Thank you for stopping by.
I told her this because I said, well,
I don't want no, I'm not interested in having.
No, I got you. But I'm telling you, because you gonna have to address this because I took it from a wife standpoint. I'm like, he been married 20 years. I'm pulling up pictures of the wife. I'm like, the wife is nice. And I'm looking at you and I'm like,
you met her in real life?
you think she's gorgeous? And I'm looking at Mika and I'm like, well, Mika, baby, all I see on the IG is ass. And she goes, well, I said, so is that your content? And she, no, I haven't heard you talk in any of the clips.
She talk all politics all the time. She's went viral multiple different times.
Do people listen to her?
Absolutely.
Listen,
Tasha, she is smart as hell.
Okay, she may be smart.
And she know how to talk that talk. But here's the thing. You understand as a content creator that the look also can matter, just especially for women, just as much as the content. Okay. It's the reality of the world that we live in.
But when you're too pretty.
What is too pretty? How can you be too pretty?
I can be too pretty. If I was on here with, stomach out, cleavage out, and I'm, there's a way that I can,
you'll probably have 3 million instead of.
I doubt it because are they listening to me? Yes, I may have 3 million followers, but do I have impact?
Yes.
No, I get so much respect
from
married men. You're speaking from a man's perspective. I got married men that bring their wives to my show to say, I put my wife on you. Mm-hmm. She has to, and now the wife is a fan. Mm-hmm. They're not, they may follow me to say, oh yeah, she's attractive, but me,
you're a nice looking woman.
I know I'm nice looking, but I don't.
Like people need to eat your food, smell good.
Thank you. I don't
put the medicine in the candy. And this is one of the things that I teach the people that's around me is that, listen, the entertainment is important. The visibility is important. But what you want to do is you want to put the medicine in the candy because the thing that's going to keep them is your ability to communicate and your ability to also be entertaining, right? So they may come for one thing because when you meet a person in real life, you don't meet them and say, hey, what is your personality like? Especially men. The first thing that we look at is we look at you and we say, man, she's attractive. I want to go up to her and I want to get to know her. Now, what you do after you hook them in is a completely different conversation. What you do to keep them is a different conversation. But if we don't be naive and say that doesn't play a role, then I have to say that I disagree with you on that.
But what I'm saying is, with Mika's content, I see more of the...
On Instagram, you do.
I
went to
the YouTube channel. She got it darkened up, and I think that kind of plays against her. She does need to brighten up the site because I was looking at it from a content creator standpoint. Like if she was a really want motion, I'm critiquing her.
Yeah,
like, you're beautiful. I like that she does the crop up so you can't really see the bottom.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and so you can focus more on what she's saying intellectually. So yes, it does help to be attractive, but there are some non-attractive women that dominate out here.
No,
She is not. According to men,
but the reason why Whoopi Goldberg,
attractive.
The reason why Whoopi Goldberg don't count is because Whoopi Goldberg hasn't come out in the social media age and era. Whoopi Goldberg already had equity from the fact that she had existed with credits and she became visible in the movie scene and all of that way before she ever became a host on The View. She didn't break out. Name me somebody that broke out in the social media era. No, I ain't saying that, but we don't check for because even with you are beautiful. Unlike you, but you're trying to downplay it. Like,
yeah, I don't think she's beautiful. I mean, at best, I think she's average. Okay,
I don't think she's beautiful.
Yeah, I definitely don't think she's beautiful. I mean, like, she is. Like, to be honest, if she didn't have millions, she would be just an average ass bitch out there. Nothing special at all, right?
I don't think
it's because she's a millionaire. So she's something special.
I
See,
think
that's
people
the
like
lie. That's probably the lie that you're talking about, right? That you were talking about before with Anton. Now, like I said, I like a lot of things Anton say, but you know what? He does toe the line sometimes a bit. I would not. I'm sorry. I don't give a shit if you have a million views. I'm not going to call you beautiful when you're not beautiful. So I'm particularly like again, you're not dating her, so calling her beautiful, it's like you're trying to be subjective. She's not beautiful. She's not. She's average. She's not ugly. I'm not calling her
she's on.
ugly, but she's not beautiful. Stop it.
Yeah, she's not beautiful. I think she has all the followers because she is messy, and I think people
Gossipy,
like
gossip.
messy.
Yeah, she's like, yep. She talks a.
But she's not
Women love that
beautiful. I
shit.
mean, she's kind of thick. She's kind of thick. But like you
Yeah,
said, if you seen her on the street and she
I've
was an
seen.
unmarried single woman, she
Yeah,
would not get much attention. I
but
don't
I've
like
seen.
women with short hair. That's
Yeah,
just me.
I definitely
I
don't
don't
like.
like that. I
I
think that's weird. You know what I'm saying? I know women to have hair, and when a woman cuts her hair off and keeps it off, it's weird to me. Now everybody might have to go, they might shave it off to go natural or whatever. That's one thing. But just doing it as a fashion statement is weird. And it's
Mm.
very European to me. Let's keep it one. It
Mhm,
is. It's
mhm,
not that is nothing African or Negro spiritual about cutting all your hair off and talking messy about people.
mhm,
There's nothing really, this is my thing. It is really nothing black about either one of those people to me. Because you don't be messy. I was
mm,
taught black equals everybody's looking at you and you don't bring down your whole race because you can't control your emotions.
mm,
That's weird to me. Like I said, a lot of stuff is weird to me because what I was taught, what I know really works, and what I studied in history, and what I know really works is not this crap we have today. It's not liberalism. It's not going online talking messy and talking, being a hater. Tasha K is a hater, and if see that after seeing this, if I was the Mika chick, I wouldn't rock with Anton after this. Because if I go on somebody's show and they're semi hating on a person I was about to sign, I'm gonna have all kind of smoke for them.
mm,
That's
mm,
that's what that's my problem. He toes the line, and that's what Corey Holcomb was trying to say. Regardless of whatever bad you want to say about him, that's what he was trying to say. You toe the line when it comes to certain things. And if like me and you, we say whatever, we say what it is. What we believe to be the truth. For real. He doesn't do that. He will bite his tongue to keep $10 in his pocket. And I have no respect for how he said he has no respect for people who pillow talk, which I don't either. But I have no respect for people like him that do that get to a certain level and want to act like they're so superior to everybody else. That's why I don't like feminism. I don't like
mm.
feminism because it's the same thing. So I
Yeah.
don't like Anton Daniels getting a couple million and acting like he's better than everybody else. You reaching no, but you're going to reach nobody. People watch to see you fall.
Mm,
Both of
mhm,
them.
mhm,
People
mhm.
watch to see them fall. That's why they have all the followers they have. That's why they have the engagement that they have. People want to see them fail because they know they're not real. They are not real. Neither one of them are real to me. Like I said, on anti side, I can understand because if you put my daughter on the internet, I'm probably gonna put hands on you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's something different. You know what I'm saying? Especially in
Mhm,
that context. Calling her a monkey and all that stuff. You crazy. He went way too far. But
mm,
that's what
mm.
what people don't understand about comedians. You don't mess with comedians because there's no line for them. There is
Yeah.
no line for comedians. If
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
mess with a comedian, they got some smoke for you. You know what I'm saying? Period. And especially if they don't respect you, which I don't think Corey ever did, and especially if they think you will, I call it the magical Negroes. You everything lined up so you could get a couple million.
Mm,
Okay, congratulations. but that don't mean you're stable in the black community. That don't mean nothing because you will not speak. Corey Holcomb was saying this. He will not speak up about certain things. You will not. So, in my opinion, he is essing the D of certain people. Because when you don't speak, look, like me, you and me, we'll talk about everybody, men, women,
Yeah.
black, Puerto Rican, Haitian. It don't matter.
Yeah.
The truth is the truth to us, and to people like them too. The truth is what you can get people to believe. And I think that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say something that probably is on. I don't know. I'm gonna say it.
What's up?
When we're stressed out about anything, including death, there's so many other detriments.
I am so excited. This is our like part 2 interview.
Like in real life, right? But I'm very. When I came out, you know, on the social media and YouTube and all of that stuff, we building a plane as we fly it. So we don't know what we don't know, right? I came out 12, 13 years ago. So all of the different stuff and the evolution of who we are, it manifests itself over to today. But if I'd have known, because now over the last 5, 6 years, I've been a lot more fiercely protective of my family, right? So I keep my people off the internet. I purposely, you know, try to remove my daughter. I don't have her in my videos. I don't have my wife in my videos. I don't have nothing in my videos, right? Because I understand that because people may not like me, that they may go after them, which is exactly what happens with Corey Holcomb, right? Yeah. But my point is that we don't like to have the uncomfortable conversation, and that darker skinned women, regardless of how pretty that they are, because I think that Kelly Rowland is prettier than Beyonce.
Or my husband says the same shit. Maybe because my husband has a preference for darker skinned women. Some people have a preference for lighter skinned women.
I think all women is beautiful.
Your security is
I think that Kelly Rowland is more pretty than Beyonce, right? But it doesn't matter,
right?
Because as pretty as Kelly Rowland is, she will never, in society's eyes, ever be more desired. Now, there's going to be some people in the comments, no, I'm going to say Kelly Rowland. Listen, looks matter, and your hue matters. Maybe not for guys, but for women, it certainly matters. And darker skinned women, and that's not to say that y'all ever go run in the victim Olympics, but darker skinned women are always going to catch the bad end of the stick. The benefit of the doubt is going to go to the woman that's a lighter skin, that have lighter skin. We have colorism in our own culture.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. So if I were a dark skinned woman, and let's just say I was because it happens. I'm seeing it with like what's the girl name that came behind Megan Thee Stallion? Erica Banks.
Oh, Erica Banks, yeah.
She came, she's a rapper, stripping, you know, she's one of them down chicks.
Yeah, I know she is.
If you just look at her aesthetically and how she's built her attitude and everything, it's like I feel that women like that are like Sukiana, who is absolutely gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
If you see her in person, I don't know if
I've never seen her in person.
Bro, she is so pretty.
I bet you she is.
Skin is she has my daughter's skin tone. It's just gorgeous. But she does not act that way at home. She is a full-time mother, cooks 3 meals a day.
Most people
But if you see the imagery that she puts out, but if you see a light-skinned woman who happens to be Latina, BBL, Sukiana,
how are they doing?
This is praise. This is she can't do no wrong. But Sukiana, this bitch is trash.
I don't even rock with passport bros. Passport bros don't go to countries where darker women are. They don't. They go to the Dominican Republic. They go to Thailand. Some of them like ladyboys, right? They don't go chasing darker skinned women. As much as we like to say that we throw black and all of this other bullshit, the reality is that deep down within the culture, we separate the darker skinned women from the lighter skinned women, and a lot of times that plays out in what we define as pretty, cute, ugly, attackable, more masculine. All of that type of stuff. And it don't even have to be true.
Oh, the short hair. Oh.
We say we like natural, but then at the same time, a lot of white women have all of these press-ons inside of their head and all of this stuff inside of their head, and we don't criticize them the same way we criticize black women that have weave in their head, right? And it's just our natural bias, and I don't know if it's been implanted in us, I don't know if it still lives within us as a generational curse, but our natural bias to be biased towards darker skinned women is a thing. My daughter is under the age of 18, and she catches it. She catches
that
it.
pissed me off when I saw
She catches it. She is, I'm gonna be honest with you, straight up, she going through it. Like she's straight up going through it right now. She, you know, had dreams and aspirations to be a future Olympian. She had hundreds of medals, you know what I'm saying, from Taekwondo. She didn't practice. She's, I don't know what degree black belt that she is, but 2nd degree black belt.
So she can work for you.
Probably. But she's a 2nd degree black belt. She's been doing it since she was like 7 years old. She's been doing it for close to 10 years now. You know what I'm saying? I just flew back from Tulsa from going to one of her competitions. She's traveled the entire world, right? She's been in Japan. She's been in the Dominican Republic. She's been in Croatia. She's been to everywhere, right? All across the United States of America, competed all over. And now she's going through it because some punk ass comedian wanted to put her picture up, and he basically said that she looks like a man primarily because she's a darker skinned woman or a darker skinned little girl. And so now I wrestle with that. You know what I'm saying? I have to wrestle with that because my goal, because I don't have no illegitimate kids. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no children out of wedlock. I ain't got nobody out here saying, oh, Anton is out here having babies and shit like that. I ain't never lived that life. And so I've always been a family man. I've always been dedicated to the people that surround me. My number one goal with my daughter, and my wife will tell you, is that she can't work. Her goal is to be a child. I've always said that, listen, you don't have the same plight as everybody else. You're never going to have to deal with the same things that we dealt with growing up. Your goal is to be a child as long as possible because you got the rest of your life to deal with being an adult. And so now that veil of protection is gone because it's searching out an underage kid on the internet in order to try to attack me. And you got these degenerate out here that validate it. Oh, you should have got into a beef with a comedian. What the f does that mean? That means you can go and put my underage daughter on the internet and say some wild shit about it? Now she dealing with the shit in school. I had to pull her out of school. Real talk. I had to pull her out of school. She going through it. Straight up going through it.
I know she is. I would like to.
It's unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? It's really unfortunate. And so, you know.
That's what really made me reach out to you.
I mean,
when I saw him put your baby picture, I said, see, here he go looking for kids. Put your own kids. But he can't. He can't because his kids is doing better than him.
How do you fight a that don't give a fuck about his own family? Because I value my family. You know what I'm saying? I value my daughter. No woman in my life work. Not my wife's mom. The only time that you can work as a woman that's in my life is if it's a passion project or something that's meaningful to you. But you can't do it for money. You got to do it because you really care about it. My mom don't work. My daughter is not going to be working, right? Not until I don't remember the last time that I was that mad ever in life.
Well, let me ask you this.
I don't remember the last time that I've ever been that pissed off.
As a content creator, we study the people that we do content on.
Facts.
Did you not think that Corey Holcomb was going to go there, being that he's went there before?
I was prepared for him to come at my wife.
And you didn't mind?
No, I mind. What am I going to do about that? You know what I'm saying? Because, listen, when
you went on the show?
When I went to the show,
okay,
I didn't expect for this to happen. You know what I'm saying? I studied him as a person because I was prepared to speak to whatever point that he made because my goal was to ultimately come on top because we had a conversation on the phone where we said that we were going to have an uncomfortable conversation and we was going to clash. So I automatically knew it was going to be about black and white, conservative, Republican, black culture, all of that stuff, right? So I'm already prepared for that. I wasn't prepared for it to turn into a fight, but I'm always prepared to fight. It just is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
You got security with you that day?
Yeah, I had one guy with me. I had one guy, and he had a whole studio full of people.
So fought on his behalf when he punched Christina.
So when he say shit like, "Oh, you had security with you," then you had a whole crew of people in there. Don't use that as an excuse of why you wasn't ready to step outside. Because I came to your city and your studio, and I'm comfortable. And then they tried to paint the picture and say, "Oh, Anton left. He changed his flight." And I did a live stream right there in the morning. I was still in LA, having a good time. Yeah. I'm not checking in with nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a tough guy, but I don't like dudes that pretend to be tough guys that's not tough guys. I don't like that shit.
So let me ask you something. So now your wife is a casualty of war. Yeah. Now we got Mika being as a casualty of war. And I asked her, I said, Mika, are you married? Is she married?
I can't speak to her situation.
She said, but you knew it. You wouldn't mind speaking to it.
Well, I don't know that because I'm taking your word for it.
This interview hasn't aired yet.
But I'm still taking your word that she said what she said. I can't speak to her situation.
The thing is, like, I found it very interesting that this husband.
No, but you know why? You know why? Because let's say hypothetically that she has somebody in her life, right? Should they be a casualty of whatever it is?
I get it. And she don't want her husband to be a part of what they got going on.
I didn't say she had a husband.
Well, she said she had a husband. Okay. She did say that. And I said, well, where is this husband? I don't see him nowhere on this Instagram. I don't see anything. I barely see a ring.
A lot of people want to protect their people.
I get that too.
From the internet.
But I'm not saying that she got anybody. Could have shut this down. With one, she ain't this, that's it, that's all. Me and Anton cool.
I think it's a lot more moving on. It's a lot more complicated than that. And I can't speak to nobody else's situation, but I think it's a lot more complicated than that.
And I also asked, I said, your husband didn't mind you going to sit courtside with Anton?
Oh yeah, that's cool. I mean, I go to courtside all the time.
Even your wife, she didn't mind. They got y'all on the jump on transfer. I got the.
Listen, my seats, unfortunately, is courtside right there next to the business bench. It is what it is. So
are y'all in an open relationship?
Never, under no circumstance, ever.
I'm looking back at her, y'all. That's why you can ask me. You know, like I don't want no camera. You don't say
listen, you can ask me anything.
I got you.
There is nobody that has ever touched my wife, ever. Okay. Ever. I've known her since high school, since 9th grade.
So y'all been married? Y'all
got married at 22.
Like. But I love my husband. Like we've been married 20 years, July this year. About 1 year.
It'll be 22 this year for me.
So it'll be 20 years for us. But like, I told Mika straight up, it's not that I'm insecure, right? But you know, where I'm from the South, y'all are from the North. So things are perceived very differently. My husband, of course, and Mika is stacked.
Yeah, she's
gorgeous.
100%.
Ain't no. I told her, I said, you think you're gonna bring your little pretty little stuff around my husband? Bitch, you gotta be put. I told her just like that. And she was just like,
the real conversation is why y'all so insecure.
No, it's not. I'm insecure. I was raised that way. I'm not insecure. It's just because my husband.
Listen. This is the way I look at it.
Okay.
This is the way. Honestly, this is the way I look at it. I look at everything as content.
Could she go courtside with another man?
So Rita, she's not a content creator.
Could she?
She's not a content creator.
It doesn't matter.
No, it matters.
Could she?
It matters.
No, because there's a level to my. There's a like. I don't talk about disabled people. I don't talk about kids. I don't talk about misfortunate people that and straight. And then A1 came in. They had some cognac. They started fixing drinks in little glass mason jars like this. So he had two of them when he was on the stage.
Right.
This was gone. Feet was actually had to get him to.
When we build houses and everything.
You're building or y'all are building?
I own the company. She works with the company. She is my wife, so naturally she's automatically involved. But her responsibilities in the company is to oversee them with the contractors. She pulled the permits. She worked with everybody. She is very smart.
So you don't own the company? It's not 50-50?
There ain't no such thing as 50-50.
Oh, no, I'm thinking.
Together. Like, that's my husband, so it's mine, it's his.
Okay, so but is your name on the company as owner?
Yes.
Okay, so what I'm saying to you is, as a content creator, he has amassed a lot of followers, right? 4 channels. Do you feel like he needs to create content in context that would, one, because Mika is being slandered, okay? Yes, it does take 2 content creators to do that. And 2, that would give the image of perception that there's some disrespect going on in your relationship. Don't you feel that Anton is bigger than that and he doesn't need to create content like that? Or is that okay with you?
Honestly, I don't even think about it because I don't follow that type of stuff. I do think that Mika is getting slandered and I don't think that she deserves the slander that she's getting. But as far as the content goes, I don't think about it because I don't care. Like, I don't care what people say about me.
But
And I don't
perception.
care what people think about me because I know the truth and I know what happens in our marriage and our relationship, and that's all that matters to me. Like, what people say and think, I could care less.
I get it, but not everybody is built like you. And even certain family, like my husband is Muslim, right? I didn't even know about Mika until she reached out to me. She reached out to me. I did not reach out to Mika. Yeah, she was off my radar.
Tasha, I think you don't understand. I have a level of loyalty in my life.
I can tell she's very
That's a
comfortable.
different.
And you see them in her face.
Yeah,
You smell like alcohol and everything.
It's not delicious.
Thank you.
She not like none of this.
Valentino, yes.
Rita don't
Okay.
care about none of this.
I'm coming. Give me a second. Look at it. Being all husband and wife. But okay, no problem. So you're okay. Your marriage is secure. You don't mind expect. Don't leave me in the dark. That's why a lot of women have no problem being on the side because they know more than the wife when they're on the side.
There's nothing on the side.
I get it. I'm just telling you how forthright we are as women. We can adapt to any situation. My husband comes from a polygamous background.
Really?
His dad, yes. His father has 3 wives. His brother has 2. His other brother has, 2 wives and a baby mama.
So let me ask you a question. So it's cool if I go with the guys to the game.
Yeah.
But it's not cool if I take a girl to the game.
In my opinion, absolutely. Not unless you want her ass whoop, Antoine. You're trying to get that bitch ass whooped. Because I don't know her. And I don't know her intentions.
But she does know.
I get that. But what I'm saying to you, as a regular woman watching your platform, watching the content coming out, it is viewed as a conservative man who stands on conservative values is being disrespectful to his wife.
I don't really care about what other people think. The only thing that matters is the truth. Now, from a content creation, see, I'm able to separate it. I can separate the content from the real. And the real is that ain't no smut on my name. Ain't nobody that ever said nothing negative about me. I don't owe nobody
So
nothing.
you've never cheated on your
I've
wife?
never cheated. Never. And I'm looking you in your eyes. And I'm telling you, I never cheated.
Okay, did you have her permission
That's
to
not even.
sleep with anybody else?
Let me tell you what my life philosophy
Yeah,
is. I'm answering your question, but
Okay.
I had the context too. Because I
Okay.
answered it first and saying that I never did nothing.
But cheating and having permission, like my father-in-law has the permission of all the women to marry. They have to ask permission to the first wife, to the second wife, second and
Well, I'm
first
not from
wife,
that
to the
culture.
third.
I'm from
You
here.
understand?
United
So
States
there's
of
an
America.
agreement.
There is no agreements. But let me tell you what my life philosophy is. And this is the reason why I say this. I don't have time for hoes. That's the honest to God truth. I come from an environment and a generation where they say MOB is money over bitches all day long. I'm never going to fumble a bag over a woman under no circumstances. Never. It's 8,000.
This is the thing where I love that, right? I mean, like I said, I mean, I don't agree on everything with Anton. I mean, like what he said about the passport bro thing, you know, I don't necessarily agree. He is critical on the passport bros. I think that, you know, I'm very supportive on passport bros. Now, I'm not supportive on men just going over broad just to have sex with a whole bunch of women. That's degenerate shit, right? If you are obviously going over broad to find a wife, a submissive wife, a wife that wants a family, a wife that wants to be married, that's what I support, right? That's what I support. Just to go around and have sex with a bunch of women, no, that's stupid. That's degenerate shit. You could do that here, right? It's stupid. So that's why I don't like with Anton saying just that's passport bros. I don't think I don't view that as passport bros, right? Passport bros, I view it as those are the men that are tired of women here that don't commit, they don't want to be wives, they don't want to be mothers, right? And they go other to find submissive, good, loving wives. Now that's what I believe. Now there's always been men that travel the world just to have sex, so I don't view that as passport bros. Now, but I 100% agree what he just said. Okay, this is a thing where I've said this countless times before. Men's biggest weakness is women. If you can control that weakness, you are a dangerous man, because no woman can control you. And that's how I feel. I don't need to have, I've said this before. I've had threesomes. I've had foursomes. And to be honest, I didn't care for them. Right. I've had one night stands. And to be honest, I don't care for them because honestly, it's not enjoyable. I like to be in a relationship, and I don't care to like, have a whole bunch of sex. Just honestly, it's tiring. To be honest, I'd rather focus on money, right? I'd rather focus on my enjoyments, right? Focus on a woman that I love, focus on making money, focus on, my hobbies. Because at the end of the day, the more women you deal with, the more headache it will be, the less peaceful your life is. So I want my peace. I want my enjoyment. And to be honest, men that's oh, I need sex, I need sex, I need sex. Well, that's the sheer stupidity, right? You are letting your lusts control you. You're letting your weakness for women control you. And the men that do that, right? Those are weak men. How many times we hear that rich and powerful men are taken down by women because just by sex, right? Sex scandals there, sex scandals here. That's your weakness. So, nah, I'm good. I like to control that weakness.
Yeah, I agree. You control your emotions, man. You control your. To me, when you talking about men who can't control their sexual urges, that's junkie behavior. That's like a junkie. You're a junkie. You're addicted to sex. You should be. You remember when they used to have insane asylums and medical health
Yeah.
centers and stuff? They
Mhm.
need to have that again
Yes.
because
Bring it
these
back.
people are insane. That's why I see these people as insane. And what he was saying about passport bros, and see, that's why I don't like him because he never tells the whole truth. I don't like people who tell half truths. And the whole truth is, Western women are out of control. So the places that bros go to are places that are not controlled by feminism. And those usually are places where lighter, fair skinned women live at. You name me a place where dark skinned women are or black women are that is not westernly controlled by feminism. You tell me that. See, for him to have his first statement, he has to answer the second statement that I just said. You know what I'm saying? Where can you go and get a good black woman that's not westernized?
Mhm,
Where can
mhm.
you go? And I
Yeah.
think that's why I don't like me. He tells half truths. And the last thing I want to say is that you have to watch him. He's not controlling the interview. Yeah, it's her program, but you're the guest. And she's talking reckless. She's asking you, do you cheat on you? What is wrong with
Yeah,
you?
it is that. Yes, I agree. That is she's being messy. She's definitely being messy. And but that's why I never cared for her platform. She's about gossip, and I'm tired. Like seriously, I'm tired of like the whole gossipy, women talking a whole
Yeah,
lot of gossip crap. No, that's why I never cared for her stuff.
crazy. She's just talking real crazy to him. And I don't understand why, if you're such a man, if you're so masculine as you say you are, you won't let her talk reckless to you.
Yeah, I would definitely call her out on her disrespect.
No, she's disrespectful highly, and she keeps on bringing up the Mika girl, and it's clear that he's like, that is a person that is a friend of mine, and I don't want to speak about it. But if he was a man, he would say that. If he was a real man, you know how women go all the time and say what a real man should do. If he was a real man, he would say, "Look, that's my friend. I would appreciate it if you keep the subject away from her." She asked this man cheat. You know, are you crazy, lady? Are you
Mhm.
really crazy? That's disrespectful. And see, that's my problem. Disrespect has gone out of control.
No,
You
it's
can't
messy.
disrespect people like that, man. It's
No,
crazy.
yeah.
8,760 hours in a year. That means if I'm not making money with you a little bit,
That would happen though. I'm not that type of person you flirt with.
Well, I didn't know that, but we was gonna figure it
Even
out.
if I wasn't with my husband,
But
I'm not that type of person
see,
you flirt with.
I have to respect the boundaries that you
Yeah.
create because this is your platform, this is a space that you live in. But I'm gonna sell it. I'm gonna sell it 1,000 times out of 1,000 times. And my biggest thing is, and what I try to understand from people is why don't y'all leverage the visibility, even if it's negative visibility, in order to get more, in order to run it up?
I mean, but
I look at everything as a marketing opportunity.
I get that, but when we get to certain phases in life, like me, when I first started, I don't know if you're familiar with my early on content. I was ruthless.
You the one that found out about Derrick Jackson.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what the problem with Derrick Jackson was?
Bull crap.
you know what the problem about Derrick is?
The car seat in the back.
You know what the problem with
What's
Derrick
up?
was?
What's
It's
up?
like they apologize. Why you going on an apology tour? What is you doing, bro?
He went everywhere but here.
He should have came straight to you.
And he reached out to us. We had him booked first class flight.
Why did he stop?
He punked out and backed out. I
And
would
guess
have
what?
been able to have a conversation with him that would have turned the viewers
Guess what?
back on his side.
Guess what?
What's up?
The hoes still love Derrick Jackson.
They do.
So what the f is he apologizing for?
And they're gonna try to sue me a food guy. I said, what did I say? That was a lie exactly. Oh, you thought this was 2018?
Yeah.
Bitch, it's only one and done. Okay, nobody will ever get a lawsuit like that against me again. Okay,
He should have came and kicked it with you.
they should have. That's what. But the problem is they try to fight me from behind the scenes, and I'm talking, bitch, I get louder.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I
yo,
think that you are cool.
I am very cool and I'm very reasonable. Just don't come play in my face.
Yeah.
And I come from a culture where molestation was swept under the rug. For me, though, I got justice. So they understand who they're dealing with. They're not dealing with a person that's just trying to gain clout off their name.
Mhm.
I was a black girl that was victimized that happened to have
Mm.
aunties that looked out for me.
Oh,
But then there's a
that makes
lot of black
sense.
girls
Yeah.
that didn't have their aunties. Looking at Rashona LaFleur, the R. Kelly victim that just
I just seen that.
If you're very
at all.
But see, that's another reason why they got mad at me is because I'm very matter of fact. I say what I believe,
Right.
and I don't mince words just because people say that they disagree with me. I don't give.
All I'm saying is,
Tasha, I think you're giving women permission to be insecure
why would you
Yeah,
say
whatever
that?
permission.
Elaborate.
because you're giving them this mindset to believe that first of all, women should not be so possessive over the idea that a man is hanging out with or being with, especially from a business perspective, with a beautiful woman because y'all wouldn't give a f- if she was ugly.
Yeah, we would.
No, you wouldn't.
I would.
No, you wouldn't. You
I
would think,
would.
oh, that must be the assistant.
No, men are hit an ugly bitch before they hit a pretty bitch.
Yeah, but you're
They're a lot
not-
easier to hit.
Y'all
Like,
not
for
insecure
real.
about
No, I'm saying, look, I come from.
If I sat courtside with a just a
You
hideous,
did. She had nothing but gums in her mouth.
No.
I don't know who she was.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You may not think
I don't know
as
what
a
you're
man.
talking
That's my point proven. You just proved my point.
No.
I'm telling you, for me, I wouldn't worry about
I
the
have people that work for me.
I get
literally.
you. I get you. But
I
you
have
were
people
getting
that's
too close to call the jacket. I was like, what the fuck?
I love it. I got people that work for me. I have a lot of women that work for me.
I get you, but I was like, what the fuck? What type of goddamn concubine shit he running here? Like, I'm literally looking at the videos. I was like, look, that's why they slandering these hoes. Like, you put them in positions to get
No,
slandered.
not really. Not really.
That's how much you know the game. You said it's content. You know the game.
For content creators.
Salacious shit and make videos about it.
Yeah, for content creators though. What we were speaking about specifically was Mika, right?
Mika
I don't
and-
agree with the fact that people are going after her when she didn't do anything wrong. I don't believe that she did anything wrong.
But did you put her in
even
a
a little.
position?
That's victim blaming.
No, did you put her in a
No, that's
position?
victim blaming, Tasha.
At
The
times.
reason why it's victim blaming is because it wasn't a secret. The whole idea was communicated. He painted a narrative because he was mad because he didn't want to go outside and scrap. And so that's why he said the shit that he was saying. He leveraged his platform to go after her, thinking that it would affect me. And even though it doesn't affect me personally, it affects me because she's a decent person. She's a good person.
She is.
And her goal was to never be on her shit. It was genuine opportunity to try to get more visibility for her platform, right?
She got it.
But you know what I'm saying, Tasha. The whole idea of it is that she's being slandered unjustifiably for some stuff that she didn't even have any control over, and it wasn't.
It's somewhere in the middle. We're both right. So what I'm saying is, yes, you come from the situation that a lot of people don't come from. A mom and a dad, suburban life. You had.
No, I was wondering.
I get you, but what I'm saying is, you're not seeing it from other people's perspectives. I live in a very reality-based world that people will feel insecure. I am a black woman who's successful, who is of value, and I love my husband so much that yes, I get jealous sometimes. I will cuss some bitch out sometimes.
But you know why this don't register though?
Why does it register?
It's because you're trying to compare it from your perspective as somebody that's visible.
My
It's like-
perspective.
No,
You're right now, and you're right.
Hold on, give me a second.
Okay.
You're a woman, but you're a content creator. You can't relate to regular everyday people because you've been living in the spotlight for a long time. You've been conditioned for this. It's not the same for you versus me as a man and a content creator. And then you want to relate to people that is not a content creator and don't have the level of visibility that you have. And so it doesn't hit the same. Okay, I'll give you an example, all right? So I'm a student. I like to break it down. It's more digestible.
Please.
If me and you go out and hang out,
Mhm.
right? Nobody gonna trip. They may make a thing about it. They may say, "Oh man, what is Anton and Tasha K out there?"
Well, they know I'm married, and they know I don't get down like that.
But it doesn't change people from being able to create a narrative because we are both visible. right? We're both visible. It just is what it is. But you now want to compare it to and relate it to somebody that is not visible. So you can't use the same example. You can't use yourself as an example to illustrate this because you don't live a regular life. If you go out as a content creator, it's much different than a regular person going out with another regular person and then them being insecure about it. It's not the same. It's not the same.
Take away the content, the lights, the camera, the money. I'm still a woman that will whoop another woman ass about my motherfucking.
But you still can't relate.
I can relate.
You can't relate, Tasha. You're so far removed from reality, you don't even realize that you can't relate.
That is very narcissistic. Like to say.
You haven't lived a regular life in so long, Tasha.
Anton, you know what? I would really disagree.
Relatable to your audience.
No. What you're trying to say is that because the way you take, because we come from very different backgrounds, and you've explained more about yourself than I've explained about myself. Mm-hmm. It's easy for you to sit over there and say that. But Anton, I'm not in celebrity circles. I'm not. And no, what I'm telling you is I don't sit on the phone and parlay with people who have everything and have access to everything. I am very much in it with my family, my friends, and I do reduce myself down. 40% occupied. They have 40% occupied.
Okay.
A lot of women, especially Black women, do not have an Anton in their life to lace them in Gucci, and they don't have to work for 18 years. That's not a bad thing. So you have to remove yourself and understand why would women be insecure or feel insecure or think that you're being disrespectful to your wife by going out in public and having outings with other women. Most women do not get that comfortability, do not have a secure man in their life such as you without baby mama drama, without sticking his head in there. So for you to say what you just said to me and discount what you bring to the table, that's very, very, very hypocritical.
I disagree with you, Tasha, and you know better than that. Okay, let me ask you a question. Go
ahead.
Why do men feel more insecure when they're talking to or trying to talk to a woman that has more than them?
Because she has more than them.
Why?
He has more.
Why? What
can he offer her? What can he offer her?
Okay, so what can he offer her?
Exactly.
Right? So when he changes her circumstances, right, which is one of the reasons why women date up. When he changes her circumstances, she changes as a person for the person that she with.
A woman having to.
This is the problem, right? Yeah, she's being emotional. But this is the problem with a lot of women. They're dating F-boys. They're dating the players. They're dating the Chads. They're dating the Tyrones. They're dating the Pookies. This is the problem, okay? Now, with Anton, he's doing things for business, all right? He has women working for him. It's all business in his sense. But with women who date the shitty men, right? Women date the F-boys, the Pookies. This is why women are insecure, because they date the shitty men. So since they date the shitty men, they believe all men are shitty. So they question all men's intentions. They question all men's, interactions with other women. When, like I said, if you actually get with a good man, a morally sound man, a man with principles, he can hang out with women and not think twice about it because he doesn't see her as anything else. He sees her as, like with Anton, he sees her as an employee, someone that's making money with, someone he's making content with. That is it. He's not necessarily attracted to her. And and those are the type of men that have, this is the thing where women like this don't understand. Men have boundaries, but good men do, right? It's the F-boys, it's the Pookies that don't have boundaries because they don't give a shit. They don't care. They don't care about you because honestly, all they want is to F you. All they want is to have sex. So of course they have no boundaries. They don't think about nothing else, right? And that's the thing where a lot of these women are hard to understand it. And this is why they can be so emotional. These women have been traumatized by the bad boys, and now they view all men in the same lens. I've always said this before. Most women do not date most men, right? Most men in history didn't even procreate. They didn't like have sex with women. But the men that have, right, now because women get with the bad men or the Pookies or shit like that, now they equate all men like that, which is not true. So when you get with them, when you see a good man, you don't believe it because you think all men are bad. And that's the insanity of women. That's the insecurity of women. And to be honest, that's because of feminism, where women now have a choice. And guess what their choices are giving them? They're only choosing bad men.
Yep. They're only choosing bad men. And the sad thing that I realized, like I said, my daughter saved my life. I was 21, 22 when I had her. When I changed and I went to my baby mother and I was telling her, like, look, I ain't doing what I used to do no more. You know what I'm saying? That's when she was out the door. She was like, I got with a D-boy. I didn't get with no softy. I didn't
Wow.
get with somebody who wants to be in their daughter's life. I
Mm-hmm.
got with the person who in 5 years, if they make it 5 years into their daughter's life. And
Wow.
that's the sad thing. That's the
Yeah.
true sad thing. They want the bad guy.
Mm.
And
Mm.
honestly, I don't think either one of them are being honest. Either one of them, they only seen it from their small point of view. Anton, you're crazy if you think your rich self is going to be able to be going around with some Mika and people are not going to say stop something, shouldn't say
True.
something.
True.
You're
True.
smoking crack. You're on crack, thinking that your successful self being with that pretty woman, people are not going to look at it a certain way. You're crazy. And
Mm-hmm.
Tasha K, why are you so insecure? That's what she needs to be asking herself and the other women before she pushes out this narrative of all men are bad, basically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why are you so insecure? Why? If you and I'm gonna tell you, in my view, Western women are the most insecure because they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're not. They know it deep down inside in their heart. They know they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So yeah, why wouldn't I be insecure if I see my man at a basketball game with a girl and I ain't doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Because women, see, the thing you have to watch about women, a lot of times they project. They say what they're thinking or what is done to them, or they project, and that is a projection to me. Because if you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing as a woman, as a wife, why should you be worrying about your man taking somebody to a basketball game, especially if he's like being open and honest with you? Why?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you insecure about it? Why is it just a topic? And I'm gonna go back to the point. If Anton was a man, he would tell her, "Look, if you only got questions about Mika, then her on here, not me." And so, honestly, it's getting to the point to if you're not going to be respectful, why am I here? And I said the
Well,
same thing to men. If, if
but
if a man is dating a woman and she's not being respectful, she's not doing what she's supposed to do. Why is she there?
no, I mean, like I agree, but this is the thing where Anton should know what type of, what type of shit he's getting into when he goes on a show like this woman's. She's
Mhm.
going to talk about the gossip shit, so that's just how it is.
Reduce herself down to the man that she's with that has less than her, has to get on his level and rebuild it again. Why would I do that? Because men, y'all don't do that. You bring a woman up to your level and do it effortlessly.
But let's
Y'all don't care.
but mind it out though, Tasha.
What's up?
When he talks to her, he's operating in a level of insecurity because he doesn't feel like the man he needs to be in order to fulfill all of her needs. Right? Insecurity is based off of your circumstances, which means that you can't relate in the same way that everybody else relate because you don't have a similar set of circumstances.
I got 20 years and I was with this man broke and
Right.
he had money. There's a difference.
Wait, look at it though. You proving my point.
Okay, how so?
It's because you just said that you exist in an environment in which you've built up this equity with this person and you understand him and you believe in him because over 20 years you have to have a level of trust in order to still be with him. How many people can say that they got that in today's
I
time?
don't trust bitches around me.
How many people can say that they got that in today's time?
I don't know, but I don't trust bitches around my niggas.
You're not answering the question on purpose though, Tasha.
You understand?
You know why?
Why?
Because you know that you're not the same as everybody else. I am an anomaly, right? And I ain't even talking about my finances or anything like that.
I'm an anomaly. I know what
We're
you mean.
both anomalies in that we've been married for 2 decades. And 2026 as of recording this video.
And Tom, my husband will tell you for himself, Tasha ain't going no motherfucking way with no nigga, money or not.
Yeah, but you're a woman, so it's different.
But y'all can go out
But
and be trusted.
I believe objectively.
And the only reason you get that permission is
No.
because you have money.
No,
Yes.
it's not true.
And time.
I'm the same person, no matter what.
If you were broke, I don't think your wife would tolerate half of it.
Bullshit.
I don't think she would.
Bullshit.
Mm-mm.
Bullshit.
And a lot.
Who you
See,
think-
now
who you think-
you're
who you
removing
think-
yourself from
No.
the everyday man.
I've known her since high school. I wasn't talking to her in high school. in high school. Who do you think told her to hold off and don't give off her virginity to nobody else? She respected me as a man before I ever had any of this shit.
But
She respected what she did what I wanted, she believed in what my vision was for her.
And you're so far removed from the conversation that I'm having is that she was young, y'all were both young. I'm talking about you single now. A woman would tolerate much more bullshit from you than she would from any Jodo on the street.
I don't
have
believe
nothing
that.
to offer. Yes.
No, you're framing it as a woman would tolerate. I'm saying that a woman would subject herself to and submit to a greater thing than what she's used to. I don't look at it as a woman tolerating. Y'all frame it that way because you're so used to men getting caught up in bullshit and actually being proven to be a piece of shit.
Well, I'm not used to that
because
I've been married 20 years.
no, I'm not talking about your situation. I'm talking about what we see in the culture, right? We're used to being framed that way. But that's not a reality for it's a lot of good guys, but nobody actually speaks to that because when your situation is good, it's like going to a restaurant. When you go to a restaurant and you have a great experience, you just have a great experience.
Right.
People usually don't write reviews unless one or two reasons. One, either they was wrong, then they get on the internet and they want to try to find reviews. Or if the establishment say, hey, write this good review if you had a great experience, they got to ask you to do it. But our natural inclination is that when we in a great space, we just retreat and we just experience it great.
So are you telling?
So what I'm saying is, it's a lot of people that are having great experiences, and it's a lot of women that have been removed from that insecurity. And instead of us speaking to that, the bigger conversation is always going to be why women are insecure because we're used to the loudest voice in the room being a bad review. You usually don't start having a restaurant go viral unless it's something somebody did that was bad. People look to give a bad review or review it at all when they have a bad experience, unless they're asked to write a good review.
So what you're saying is, because I have the platform that I have, and they are 90% women, okay?
Oh man.
You know
Oh
that.
man.
Yes. Is that
I thought it was like 87.
it's 90. And I should create a space where I uplift the men that are doing right.
No, I'm not saying that.
And
I
tell me
understand
what
content.
Okay.
And I know you gotta.
No.
What
This
I
ain't
am-
about content. No,
what I'm
this is
saying
about
is-
absolute truth. I live in authenticity. So what I'm saying is, and I take constructive criticism. I'm not too.
I'm saying that you should tell the story of both. Just all I'm saying.
I just did it with Christy and Desmond Scott. I said, yeah,
No,
he looked
for-
like he ain't had no their own side.
For women is what
I
I'm saying.
am. And I said, let me give you an example.
Okay.
Christy and Desmond Scott, everybody, I'm seeing women drag this man. But when I see a statement, I love my wife, but I told my wife months ago I wanted to separate. She refused. Now she goes and files for divorce because there's a video now. But I've been said that I did not want to do this. But she decided to hold on for the public image, okay?
Yeah.
Now the entire world of women are dragging him. You're this, you're that. And I'm looking at these comments and I'm like, well, they don't have the full story. How could you cheat? Christy is so perfect. I said, she may be perfect, but she may not be perfect for him. Just because they know each other since they were 14 doesn't give her dominion over him, and she gets to reduce down and not come to him or not satisfy him when he needs satisfaction. Like, you still have a wifely duty regardless of your platform. This is my commentary. And I said, now listen to me. I played the video of him making. I said, that man right there, the way he making out in public, that is a man that ain't had no pussy in a long
I seen the
time,
video.
bro.
I seen the video.
Because men that are regularly fed, they don't get down like that.
Yeah.
That man, he doesn't care who he's around, what's going on. He went the in. You could tell he was restrained. And as a wife, as a content creator, I'm down there with Earthquake and them in LA, no jumper. We took a break. They got food. My husband don't fix his plate.
Yeah.
I get up and fix my nigga plate.
Why?
Because that's what I love to do.
Okay, well,
I love serving my husband. Just because I'm on this platform doesn't mean that I have to ignore my wife's duty. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm a wife first before this. I am a wife. No.
Tasha.
It's fine. You can agree to disagree.
I see we're gonna have a lot of different conversations.
No, and we can have a lot of different conversations, but I am.
No, I'm not disagreeing with
And look, no, I'm just saying, I am a wife, I am a mother before I am a content creator.
Facts.
Okay, so regardless of how much content,
I gotta admit, right? I definitely admit I'll give her respect for that. I hate her product, right? Because I hate her shit because she's just a whole lot of gossip. But I'll give her a mad respect for saying that, right? What she just said. She's a wife before a content creator. She fixed her husband's plate. Okay, I mean, I definitely give her a lot of respect, a lot of prop for that.
Yeah, I just don't think neither one of those people are who they portray online. And
Yeah.
I think it's sad that it's acceptable to that is acceptable. That's the problem. And like who I am on the internet is who I am in real life.
No,
Period.
I agree.
And it shouldn't be acceptable to have a persona like that, like these people do. Because if he's right, then she's faking. She just proved my point. She's faking. If she's such a wife, but you get online and act like a piece of dog poo, come on, man. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about? That's where I get lost at. It's like, what are we talking about? Is it either you up or down? Pick one. Pick one. You up or down? And she don't want to pick one. She wants to stay in the middle, and she thinks she can have it all. And I almost guarantee I keep my opinion to myself. But she's tripping. She's tripping because of what she's doing, and because I know if that was money don't mean everything to me. And if that was my woman talking reckless, acting reckless online, she would not be online, or she would not be my woman. Period.
Yeah.
she's too messy for me. Maybe that's just for me. Maybe some men can
Yeah, that's
overlook
true.
stuff for money.
That's true.
But I can't. You go online, you make me look bad. See, that's the thing that women don't understand that men just should. Him allowing his woman to go online and act reckless, no matter how many millions she's making, makes you look weak. Makes you look weak. You're gonna have to defend yourself. You're gonna have to defend her more because she don't know how to regulate her emotions. That's what it is. Men don't respect men, just like women don't respect men that are weak, and men don't respect women. But people don't respect weakness, yeah. People don't respect weakness, man.
Mm-hmm.
And her, what she doesn't understand, and that's the other thing about feminism that's crazy. Like I say all the time, I'm not religious, but Adam was on this earth for like 500 years before Eve was even created. That's what the book says. You know what I'm saying? And she just doesn't. Her understanding is of a child, regardless of what she think and how smart she thinks she is. Her understanding is childlike, and you as a man, and as a real leader, you act like a fucking child. I don't care how much money you making. You act like a child.
Mm.
You're making me look bad. You're going online making me look bad. See, that's one thing I personally will not take.
Yeah.
If I'm dealing with a woman, you ain't gonna go online and make me look bad. And I ain't gonna go online and make you look bad neither. You know what I'm saying? And that needs to be stated and it needs to be a staple for truly successful relationships. Now, the fact that she says she's been married for 20 years and if she's been acting like she's acting for 20 years, then her husband for sure is doing whatever he wants to with her money.
Mm.
That's just how I feel about it. You know, you
Mm-hmm.
gotta respect you gotta have respect for the person that you're dealing with at all times. I don't care how many millions you're making, you will end up divorced. You end up with no man doing what she's doing. And Antoine can't stand on nothing. He can't stand on nothing. He just he blows in the wind. He has no backbone to me. He stands on nothing. And you know what they always say: if you don't stand for nothing, you fall for anything. And he's gonna fall. Like I said, having these people have the big followers because people want to see them fail horribly.
Mm.
People want to see them crash and burn. And this is two examples of other people want to see crash and burn, especially Tasha K. All that stuff when Cardi B was suing her, all that stuff, people were so happy. And I'm surprised why she's still around. She shouldn't be around. Like that should have been part of
People always like
the deal.
gossips.
Yeah.
Women will always love gossip. Her followers 90% women. Women could care less. I mean,
Yeah.
on to the next story. That's how women are.
Right.
You gotta do that. Nigga say you hungry, I go get his food. It's not because I have to, it's because I want to.
But the reason why I said why was not because I was disagreeing with the fact that she fixes plate.
Yeah.
Right? The reason that I was saying why is because you have the capacity to choose to do that, or you have the
in the position that I'm in, because when I look at a Christy Scott and she's way more successful, and her husband is successful by default, and he's being dragged because the world is perceiving him to be this terrible husband. And how could he cheat on somebody that's so great? I said, well, if she wasn't, you can look at that man and tell he wasn't being fucked. You can look at that man because people thought the motherfucker he was kissing was a man. And they tried to comment on his sexuality. They really did. They tried to come for his sexuality and everything. I said, at the end of the day, y'all could be like Team Christy, oh, I'm this and he's that. But they have 2 children. They have a marriage. They have a family. And they've been together since they were 14. So let's just take our feelings out of the scenario. Would it be safe to say that if I were in Christy's shoes and I know my husband has only been with me since high school?
How old are they now?
27, 28.
Are they still babies?
Right. And my husband has only been with me. He's all I know. And he's got this urge and I can't put the fire out. If you love him like you say you love him, because you're saying I'm inviting women to be insecure, why not say, hey, let's take a short separation. Baby, go sow your royal oats. Go do what you got to go.
Now you're becoming even more unrelatable.
No, I'm not unrelatable. I'm not. You know why? Because my husband and his family taught me that this is possible. It's not because they have money. These are regular, everyday women that are my sister-in-laws.
Do you know why people disagree with you sometimes?
Why do they disagree with me? Tell me.
Because you are more like me in my mindset, whether you want to agree with it or not.
What is that, Anton?
Tasha, you are so unrelatable to your audience. You are describing and painting pictures over and over again. I gotta go and get his plate, even if I'm this. I gotta do this. I gotta do that.
You don't take care of my husband.
Do you know that in today's time that is not the mindset of most women?
Well, that's why
Most women say they want partners. They don't say I want a husband. They want a guy or a person where they have equal say-so inside of the household. You are describing a situation where you submit to your husband.
I am a Southern woman, and I built a platform on Southern
Do
values.
you believe that most women think like you?
They should.
No. Do you think that most women think like you?
Coming from where I come from? Yes.
No, Tasha. You're not even being real now.
Because
Now
I
gotta call you out
feel
on
that the South has not been given a voice. Think about it. Who from the South has had a platform? Most of the women that are in the talk space come from the North, LA.
Not the talk space. I'm just talking about regular everyday.
I'm just telling you. No, I'm telling you what's been visible to women.
Okay.
Southern women haven't been given a voice or a place or a space, especially for a Southern Black woman.
Okay.
I know my
I'm with
position. You understand what I'm saying?
No, I'm
Think about it.
with you.
Oprah, she doesn't believe in marriage. Doesn't believe in marriage. Her husband lives in the outhouse. I mean,
Yes.
her long time stay. Go take that plate. Why is he always in the outhouse? Wendy, it was kind of an equal situation. He was a drug dealer, became her husband. That whole situation, he just kept her working. Who else is a Black? Sherry Shepherd, no man. Except for Candace Owens, but her husband is white.
I just seen Keke Palmer do an interview where she said that she don't even ever want to live with a man.
Exactly. So I represent how Southern women think.
Which I
How
don't
we
believe
have
that that's the
been
majority of
raised.
your audience.
But here's the thing. Even if they are New York women, okay, we can agree to disagree on that.
No,
We can agree. We can agree on that because when I do go on tour,
right?
okay, my Southern Florida, where I'm from, doesn't sell as fast as Northern, Midwest, or LA State.
Why?
Because I feel like Southern women think that I've kind of broken the code. You're supposed to be seen and not heard. Do you understand?
Yeah, I understand.
Like I was growing up, you don't cuss in front of people, you don't cuss in front of your man. You don't, some of the same things I was talking to your wife about. You don't be seen with another man in front. You don't disrespect your husband. Because I put these conservative values on display. I come from a background where you grow up, everybody in my family married, you go get married. Then you figure out what you want to do with your life. But the first thing you do is you secure a husband.
Do you think that you catch heat for having conservative values and views?
They've never displayed that.
Tasha,
They've never.
one of the rare
They think
circumstances.
my husband works for me.
One of the rare circumstances.
Okay.
Because I watch you and I have to pay attention to see.
Please
right?
elaborate.
One
Maybe
of, the
you
rare
see something I don't see.
one of the rare circumstances that I've seen people kind of go back and forth at you is when you say that you have a conservative view or conservative values, whether it be your politics or whether or not you displaying it in how you live your life and how you operate within your own relationship. You being conservative is actually against the majority of what our culture, and I would also probably say what your audience advocates for. And I've seen people give you pushback to that.
But if you see them, like there's a difference between being online famous and when you're in public, you're famous.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can say without a shadow of doubt, when I'm in public, I'm famous.
Me too.
I'm not saying this.
I'm saying that when I go out in real life,
yes,
it's way different than what we experience on the internet.
I've never had anybody come at me sideways, drag me for my views.
Mm-hmm.
My shows sell the out.
And that's beautiful.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like the amount of love that they show me. Southern woman, I don't open the motherfucking doors.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? I stand beside the door. Somebody gonna open this shit? Because I'm not moving until the open.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? I sat on talk shows when the wigs tried to fight me. And I sat pretty. Because I knew what nobody could put their hands on me because I'm a goddamn, I had one security guard, I had my husband and an editor, and I had every other that was in that building beating them asses in them wigs that day. Do you see what I'm saying? I know my position, I know who I am, I know my power. So when you say like the reason we amass the viewers that we amass is because people are against me, no. They actually with me, they appreciate what I do.
Okay, I'm with you.
I'm not like a Tommy Sotomayor.
But what I'm saying is, and it goes back to my original point and my original perspective, what you display in your relationship is beautiful.
And I display that online.
I'm 100% with you.
Okay.
I have nothing negative to say about that whatsoever. But what I'm saying is I believe that the majority of women in general, which can also include your audience, have a different perspective of what it is that they think a relationship is supposed to be, which is one of the reasons why they say they want a partner instead of saying they want a husband. They don't
explain the difference.
They don't want a person to be over them. They don't want to have to submit to anybody. They want equal say-so. They want a guy to take care of all of the financial responsibilities, but they still want to have equity into the relationship, right? They want to be able to control themselves and have autonomy to do what they want to do, but at the same time still have the benefits of a relationship. That's not what you're describing. You're describing a truly traditional conservative relationship, regardless of your visibility and what it is that you do for a living. You're saying that this is what I do in order to make sure that I run up a bag, but at the end of the day, I'm still a wife first. Most women won't say that. They'll say, I'm a woman first and respect me as a woman and what it is that I stand for or what my choices are and all of that stuff, and respect my autonomy as a woman. And I don't give that up just because I'm getting into a relationship.
Well, if you were to really watch my platform, you would know even with
100%. I think that's how women are today. they I think women today, they don't understand being a wife. Their viewpoint is, I'm a woman, I'm a strong independent woman, respect my views, respect my opinion, I have an equal say in everything. But men have to pay for dates. Oh, men have to be gentlemen, hold doors, all that shit. Men have to provide for me, men have to pay this for me, men do that for me, men definitely have to protect for me. But God forbid, oh, you tell me to cook for you? Oh, you're kidding me. No, this is 50-50. You have to cook. No. You want me to clean for you? No. You will have to clean, right? You have to share that. That is why a lot of men are walking away, right? And this is why this is the problem with, right, when I really dislike Antoine's view of the passport bros, because he's using what women's view of the passport bro is, and that's the problem. Where are you? On one point, women, Anton would criticize these women's on their views, yet you're stealing women's views on the passport bros. That's ridiculous, because literally this is why a group of men started to travel the world. These group of men, I'm not just saying bunch of men have traveled the world. No. This is why the passport bros specifically started to travel the world, because they didn't want to deal with these unruly women. These women that honestly think that they're your equal, think that they're a woman first, not your wife, think that you need to share in all the household duties, all this shit. Because here's the thing, right? I have a girlfriend. I just recently got a girlfriend, and she's telling me, oh, I want to clean for you, oh, I want to cook for you, I want to do. I'm like, that's the thing where you don't hear any woman, right, in the West, or you would rarely ever hear any woman in the West that would say that they want to do things for you, right? You would hear that they say that you need to do things for them, right? That's the thing. That's the selfishness. That's the insanity of women. So
Yeah, that's the selfishness. And like I said, I honestly just don't believe in partnership that way. You can't be a leader and be a child. You can't. You can't demand that somebody else takes on all the financial responsibility, but then you still have a say per se, like that. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't believe
yeah.
in partnership. And to Anton's point, I believe in being a husband, but I don't believe in being nobody's partner. I ain't no woman's partner. But because when it comes down to it, you want me to take care of X, Y, and Z. So that gives me authority. Period. That's what it is. That's what the Bible says. Man, God, man, woman, child. That's what it says. And which kind of irks me is half of these women will say they Christians, but they live in a satanic way. That's the truth. They live in a satanic way. They live in the crawliest way. They're hedonist. But because they put $10 in the collection plate, nobody gets them straight. That is the problem with society in general. Because certain people want to use women in certain ways, they won't get them straight, and that's the problem. So when a woman comes to a person like me, I'm like, if you ain't doing X, Y, and Z, ain't no point of me taking you to no steakhouse. I'm not taking you to no steakhouse if you ain't doing that. See, my mom has this thing that I adopted that says, I do not support bad behavior. So if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're not getting flowers, you're not getting, I'm not supporting bad behavior. I'm not going to take a responsibility. Number one, I'm not going to take responsibility for something that is not my fault. And that's what a lot of men do for peace. They're like, I'm just going to say, I'm just going to take it on the chin so I can go in my room and close the door. That's what men are doing, and that is the problem. Because you have to check an insane person, and these people are insane, thinking that they can call some. You can do it. Number one, I thought when you become a man, things of my childhood, like I leave them in the past. So you talking about I want to do whatever I want to do seems very childlike. It just seems very childlike to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do whatever I want to do, and he got to do this, and he got to do this, but he got that is crazy. That's crazy talk. That's why people are running. That's why men are like, I will focus on my stuff, and Whatever happens, happens. That's why men are taking that. And I'm gonna say this: women need men more than men need women. People don't want to hear that, but that is actually the truth. You know what I'm saying? If we get hit with an EMP today, we'll see how independent women are, and that's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? You can't have it both ways. It's just like I said, it's insanity. It's insanity. All the stuff that's going on today is insanity. These women going online and snitching on themselves, self-incriminating themselves is insanity. And I said this, and I want men to do this. Men, get yourself together, because if these women are going to go online and give you the evidence to get your children, you need to do it. I don't care if it costs $5,000 to get a good lawyer. You do it, and you get your children, because we cannot leave our children in the hands of these insane, satanic terrorists, and that's what they are. I'm sorry, not all, but some are insane, satanic terrorists. That's what they are. They want to be above a man. They they want to be they actually think they can, they think their mind can overtake a man's brawn, and that's not wise. You know what I'm saying? Because men have allowed them to get away with it for so long. That's the problem. That's why it's like I would say it's probably really like 50-50. I don't like men. I have no respect for some men, and I have no respect for some women. And it's probably about 50-50. Now, 80% of women are probably crazy, in my view. But when it comes to the people that I dislike 50% of men, and I dislike 50% of women, honestly. Because these men are not, I, I wasn't raised in a real machismo, kind of atmosphere, but I was raised where men be men and women be women, and this mixing of things is really crazy, and I don't understand how it just came. Well, I do understand how it did come back, but it's kind of crazy how it came back, because in the 1920s, in the 1930s and 1940s, black families were at the top.
Exactly. Yep, exactly.
So what happened? And I tell you, the welfare system happened. Women chose the government over their man. That's
Yes,
what
yes,
happened.
exactly.
And that's messed up, man. It's just messed up. It's just messed up. And regardless of what she's saying, number one, Florida, you saying Florida is the South. I guess it's the South, but really, to me, I always was taught that was more so the East Coast than South. The South is the middle and down. So what you're talking about is people are allowed to just make up stuff. And I remember when, if you go online or on TV and you say something that's not true, you will be sued into oblivion. Now people just go online and just say whatever. It's not true, just say stuff. It don't even be true. No truth to it at all. That's crazy work to me. And I'm sorry. People don't like the patriarchy, but honestly, they want to take the benefits of the patriarchy. They have no problem with benefiting from it.
Mm.
Just like they have no problem with a man paying for everything and them sitting on their butts doing nothing. That is crazy. And I'm supposed to get, people, I get a tough time because I say that if I'm taking care of everything, when I come home, stuff better be taken care of, period. If you're not working, you work for us.
True.
Not even
True.
me.
True.
Not even me. You work for us. But people give me a hard time when I say, if I'm doing X, Y, and Z, I'm doing all this stuff. I really don't care what you gotta say like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not a complete D to where
Mhm,
I don't care
mhm.
what you say at all. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really, I'm a nice person. I'm really a nice person. I just kind of learned to not take people's crap, because the more crap you take, the worse it's going to be for you in the end. Period. That's why all these men are getting extorted in the court system. That's why things are the way they are. And until men start telling these women, I don't care if you got a vagina or not. I'm not doing X, Y, and Z if you ain't not doing X, Y, and Z. Until men take that real hard stance, we gonna have the trouble we gonna have. You know what I'm saying? And passport bros is cool, but it's not enough with all these insane people. You know what I'm saying? Because like for me, I don't care for traveling like that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I
No.
don't care for it like that. You know,
Yeah.
not
Me neither, man.
not to say that I don't want to go nowhere. I'm not saying none of that stuff, but I don't care for traveling. So me being a passport bro on a huge level is never going to happen for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I don't like traveling like that. Now, will I go somewhere and see if I can meet somebody or X, Y, Z? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I probably will do that. But am I just gonna be traveling just for the sake of traveling, going to DR, going to the Philippines? No, I'm not doing all that. I don't like traveling like that. I don't like being on a plane like that.
I
I
agree.
don't like it.
I agree.
I think men need to man up. Men need to man up. Women need to put the big girl panties on, and they need to do what is necessary for us to survive another 1,000 years or not. You know what I'm saying? And be happy with being a single rich auntie that can't take her money with her at the end and have nobody to pass it to. That's what these controllers want. They want us in a position to where we can't have generational wealth, so we can't fight anything they want to put over us. And women are helping them. Women are helping these people put they're paying into their own slavery, because that's what's going to happen. Because let's be honest, being a concubine and being a slave, what is the difference? It's more sexual. That's the only difference. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Ask
It's
me
just
about
crazy.
a break. Karma, you can't do that. You got to tuck titties.
I agree.
You got to you're not physically able to build. Now, a lot of them are taking testosterone, or some of them may be intersex, and they may have both, but for the majority of women, he said, Tasha, there's no way a woman. And these are things that, and I wish one day somebody would interview my husband outside of me, because there'll be a better perspective on that if he'll do it, Like, a woman is a woman, and that's all a woman can be, is a woman, whether you're cosplaying or not. And a man is a man, whether you're cosplaying as a woman, you're still a man.
I agree.
And if you call that conservative, that's not conservative. That is biology. That is facts.
I agree. I think that what we define to be modern and liberal is to purposely try to be different and live an alternative lifestyle. And that's not the nature of who we are. I believe, and I give it to you like this.
What's
right?
up?
What you define is natural. You're naturally a woman. This is how you operate within a relationship. So on and so forth.
It's biology. It's facts.
I believe that regardless of what women say that they want, when they get under the right man, they will submit. That they will go to the end of the earth and believe in that guy if he's the person that she truly believes in. That's just natural. That's naturally her. So what I see women saying, and this is going back to the original conversation of what we were saying, and that I think that what we selling a lot of times as a culture, as far as insecurity, is really just masked in its hurt, in its pain, in its trauma. But in reality, a real woman, or a woman that is in a space of true femininity, and that she don't have to worry about the same things that other women worry about. She ain't got to worry about student loan debt. She don't have to worry about going to fend for herself, whether or not the lights is going to get cut on, whether or not the children is going to be taken care of, if the dude is actually bringing home the money, or if she don't get no diseases, that she truly operates in her femininity, and she absolutely will submit, regardless of what she say that she wants. I think that is the nature of who we truly are, and we need to spend more time painting the picture of what that looks like, instead of allowing women to just feel, because feelings is nothing more than how you feel. It doesn't necessarily mean anything. It doesn't change your perspective. It doesn't change your circumstance. Instead of focusing on how we feel and feeling insecure, we need to also have the conversation on how you get to the place where you need to attract a person that will put you in your femininity.
So do you know by watching my platform that I believe in polygamy?
No, I know you just told me that though. You just told me that as far as what it is. Why? Okay, so wait. Now I'm confused though.
What's up?
So,
because if there's an
why do
understanding,
you care about whether or not people do whatever it is that they're going to do if you actually believe in polygamy?
because if there's an understanding and a contract involved, that's consensual.
What kind of contract?
Whatever contract is between you and your significant other. If we're consenting adults, and I say to you, like, babe, listen, I love you. Maybe I get to a phase of a relationship where I don't want to, you know what, if you need, we're consensual adults. This is our relationship.
Right.
We're both fending for it. For me to marry a man that comes from a polygamous background,
Facts.
and I respect all of my mothers as such, and he respects all of his mothers as such, because all three of them, all the siblings, they all work together in the same house with the 3 wives. I go there, I bring, hey mom, hey mom, hey mom. My sister-in-law, hey girl, hey girl, hey girl. I go to different houses. Like, you have to understand, we as women, we know that we overpopulate men. So when I'm looking at facts and science and biology, the reason I tell the LGBTQ, listen, we need to populate. Stop going to sperm banks and getting sperm from white men. You have a black gay man that wants to be a father. He can't help that maybe somebody turned him gay or he grew gay, but he still wants to be a daddy. I'm not gonna take away from him being a daddy because he's gay. And you want to be a mother.
We disagree on that.
I highly.
We on different.
And that's where me and you agree to disagree, because when we look at the black population, it's severely declining because of Planned Parenthood and
I agree with that.
tick-up abortions and
I agree with that.
chemicals being put in the food, estrogen as one that
I agree.
will feminize a man. And so a lot of these men, by no fault of their own, growing up in poverty, and then the food is high in estrogen, there's chemicals in the water, you know, in the air and everything, and it doesn't allow them to develop or make as much testosterone, but that takes away his ability to be a father.
Well, what
That's
takes away?
what no of
I
his own.
think it's the difference between having kids and being a father. And
So a gay man can't be a father?
No.
Anton, that's what me and you gonna agree to disagree.
No, because you have to be the exemplification of what you want your daughter. Listen.
There are plenty of
You have
men
to
out
be-
here that have been fathers that are openly gay men that raise heterosexual kids, and half of them will tell you they don't even want their kids to be gay, so they don't put it in their face.
But you have to be again, you got to be the example of what you would either want your daughter to marry or you would want your son to be like. It's not enough, in my opinion, to say, hey, don't do what I do, just do what I say.
No,
It's
that's
not
not
enough.
it. That's
It's
not it,
not
because
enough.
sexuality, and this is, were you?
No.
Okay, so you can't relate to someone who's been.
I can't.
So if a young boy was introduced to anal orgasm before he got a chance to experience women, by no fault of his own, he's supposed to be taken care of by the adults that are around him, and they fail him.
Facts.
Is it his fault? Because sex, and we can both agree,
Mhm.
sex over hate is the strongest emotion out there. I would say
Gotcha.
even sometimes sex is the strongest. That's why they try to get a lot of kids early on, because you can easily train them to go that way.
I agree with you.
So that's somebody that's
I
being
agree with
taught unintentionally about sex before they're able to understand it, which means their body is already addicted to it before they can logically understand what the emotion is when they get here. But for two parents that happen to be of LGBTQ, and they happen to be, and maybe they were beat or done wrong as children because they weren't protected, it doesn't make them unfit. Sometimes they can be better parents.
I disagree.
When we're stressed out about anything, including death, there's so many other detriments to
Absolutely, not only if it's intentionally taught to them.
It's unintentionally taught to them through observing your life. That's why even the word says you have to teach a child and you have to basically raise them in this admonition, and it'll never depart from them as they get older.
Exactly, you teach them.
But it's through their observation. Kids learn through watching, not necessarily just what you say. What you say is the reinforcement of it. Look, I'll give you an example. I believe in discipline, like belt to
I
ass.
believe in this one
Belt
too.
to
That's ass.
But how do you differentiate the difference between abuse and discipline? It's a rhetorical question.
That is, and it's very.
The reason why the way you differentiate is, are you doing it in love, and are you doing it because you actually want the kid to get better, which you then give the lesson along with the discipline to help them to understand why they can't do the thing and why you're disciplining them, and it actually hurts you to do it, or are you just kicking people's ass because you don't like the person that you're living with and you just want to abuse that person because you're taking it out on them because you don't like their father, right? It's a difference. Two different situations. I'll give you another example. Two different parents can tell a kid, hey, don't steal from the store. One kid is not going to steal from the store because he's afraid of getting in trouble from his parents. The other kid is not going to steal from the store because they've been taught in their household that stealing is bad and you have to be a better person for society. Neither one of those kids are going to steal, but both of them are doing it for different reasons, which is going to impact them when they get older and they become adults. I believe that children learn best by observation, and when they see what's happening, that's one of the reasons why I think the culture is trash. When they see what is happening, they're influenced by it. That's why I don't like daycares raising your children. That's why I was more concerned with making sure that she was a stay-at-home mother when we decided to have a child, because I wanted her to input the values into my child through actually watching how I treat their mother when she was being raised, when she was a young child, versus having other values from other people being input into it. And I say that to say, I don't believe that you can exhibit a lifestyle, right? Raising a young child of homosexuality and to think that they don't think that that's gonna be normal. Their moral compass is completely off.
They will be
what they believe is right and wrong is going to be completely different. What you describe is basically going to be generational curses and generational trauma that's put into that child in the name of we need to repopulate as a Black culture, right? I don't think Black people are worse off than ever before. Even after we experienced all the racism and slavery, we had greater households, we had a stronger financial stability, we had less student loans, we were less dependent on the government, we didn't have as many divorces, and we didn't have as many baby mamas. In 2026, we're worse off as a culture. We're freer than ever, but we're worse off than ever before. You know why? Because we don't have a moral compass. We don't have strong fathers in the household. So a lot of people making babies, but we don't have strong households. I believe that you have to have strong households, and I just fundamentally am going to stand on that. I don't think that gay people should be having and raising children.
So
Controversially, I believe the same thing. I definitely believe the same thing. I don't believe anyone in the alphabet community should be raising children, because already they've already shown that they're not right themselves, right? They're not. I'm not saying everyone, but in general, I don't believe that they have the moral views that are right to produce future productive adults. I don't believe that. So I just don't. You know, I just think that you need a good balance of men and women, but there's no balance when one is a man and the other one is also a man, or one is a woman and the other one is also a woman, or that there's definitely no real balances. Both are just weird ass trans. So no, I don't believe in that. And Antoine said, right, it's 100% fact where, you know, the today the black community is suffering because they're lacking the moral values that they once had during the worst times in the black communities. In the during one terrible time in their history, they had the most, they had the highest moral values. They were succeeding. Yet now they're a whole lot worse. So
Yeah, I agree with that. It's like if we was just talking about that in the 1920s and the 1930s. It's like black families were at the top. We're actually getting stuff done. Black Wall Street and a whole bunch of stuff happened, and now we're insane. And
Mhm.
what Tasha is exhibiting to me is that I can do whatever I want. You can't do whatever you want. That's not reality. Like I said, women have been allowed to live in delusion for so long, they don't know reality if it smacked them in the face. And that's what she exhibits. She doesn't know reality. She doesn't know reality. Now, if she really thinks that, you know, I honestly think that like any responsible gay person would probably agree. You know what I'm saying? It's like it don't got nothing to do with like being off or being right or wrong, but it's just an example. That's an example you set for your children. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad that we have lost that, man.
Mm.
I feel we have lost it. You know, we have lost the moral compass. We have no moral compass as a society no more. Everybody feels like they can do, and I, my opinion is that as
Um, I don't know, big bars. It seems like you lost connection, so I don't know. Um, but we'll continue.
I want to say this in the most respectful manner as I can. I'm operating.
You don't have to preface it.
No,
You
no,
just
no,
say
I'm
it.
just saying. I'm just saying. I'm operating in my full version of femininity,
Mhm.
which is nurture nature. Okay, and it's easy for a man who thinks a certain way and who does things a certain way to write off and say that certain people aren't capable of doing certain things because of maybe they were when they were children. And they say that they can't change. But when you look at science, we can totally reprogram our minds. We can totally reprogram, and people's hearts can, let's just say somebody's heart was beating at 17%. They can get their heart back up to beating 80, 90%. We can regenerate stem cells. We can become anew every day. In the Bible, if you believe in the Bible, this is the same Bible you believe in, and you believe that there's grace, we can, you can baptize yourself and be washed of your.
This is the foolishness of women, right? Yeah, you could do it. Doesn't mean you will do it, right? Like things that certain things that humans can do doesn't mean all humans will do, right? That is kind of the insanity that women love to prescribe, or women love to believe in. Oh, you know what? Oh, this could happen, but okay, yeah, it could, but it doesn't mean that it will.
Sins, but will that wash away something that was of no fault of your own when you were a child? And will it take away or negate the fact that you can love and nourish and raise a child in the direction that it should go based off of something that happened to you of no fault of your own? Are you in?
But is it where you should go? Okay. I don't necessarily believe that people of the alphabet community would raise children to believe in the norm, right? I don't think they would raise children to believe, oh, you know what? Two-parent household, a mother and a father is the best outcome. I don't believe they would raise children like that.
Competent of doing that, and I feel that as a Christian, I'm not a Christian. Let me just get that straight, because this is the issue that I have with Christianity.
I am.
But if you're a true Christian, then we operate in grace, we operate in forgiveness, we operate in starting anew, baptism. We operate in, what's the word that I'm looking for? I'm not.
You're not a Christian, yet you're speaking on behalf of Christianity. I think that's ridiculous.
Oh,
We
Because
don't
you
have
live in
grace.
that's why there's an Old Testament and that's why there's a New Testament. And when Jesus and you, I can listen. I can argue the Bible down because you know why?
Let's do it.
You know why? I was raised in it. I was too. My father, my uncles, all of them have churches right now.
Mhm.
Now my father got scandal, but my uncles don't. You understand? I don't know the scriptures, but I know the word. You understand what I'm saying? And what I'm saying to you is when Jesus shed that blood, that made it easier to be able to walk in your sins, to know that you are not going to be perfect. Things are going to happen to you, but because I can. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because how do you justify children being innocently murdered, touched, wronged by the adults? So why should they have to pay for the sins of the adult? That's the Old Testament. But the New Testament says, guess what? Him being alive, that's a sin. But he shouldn't carry that sin. Why? Why? Because what?
Listen.
Because Jesus, right?
But Jesus dying allowed for the Comforter to be available to the Jew and the Gentile alike.
Okay.
Right?
Now you want you design this up. Go ahead.
It made the Comforter, which is the Holy Ghost, available to the Jew and the Gentile alike. You no longer needed an intercessor in order to communicate with God. We could communicate with God through Jesus, and that's why he says, where 2 or 3 are gathered in his name, there he is in the midst of it. That's why when people pray, if they pray incorrectly, at the end of it, they say, and we ask all of these blessings in Jesus' name, because he is the intercessor, right? Him dying for our sins now made it available to us to not only have a direct connection to God, but it also enabled us and it gave us power through the Holy Ghost to be able to execute on and do the things that we had no power to do before. That's where the spiritual connection comes in, right? So you being forgiven doesn't necessarily change the fact that you still need to do the work.
We're born into sin.
Correct. That's where we get the Holy Ghost. That's where we then tarry before God, right? And then we tarry as the Spirit of God give utterance, speaking in other tongues, and that is the confirmation of you getting the Holy Ghost, right? And then that's where you start to have the journey with God. Then you're washed away from the sins that you were born into, and you have a new empowerment to be able to do some of the greater things that you're able to do, which then lends itself to the idea of, at some point, you have to become a whole person, because it's not the fault of the person that you're bringing into this world. What your trauma was, that don't mean that you can justify bringing somebody else into this world just because you had trauma. You have to become a whole person before you bring another whole person into this world. And if you really want to raise them up in an admonition of God, you cannot continue to live a lifestyle that would then lend itself to them living in sin, the very sin that we're trying to get away from. Forgiveness is for us. Grace is directly coming from God. We don't have grace to give.
So you know what I'm saying?
Listen, that's not what I'm saying. You missing what I'm saying, Tasha.
What am I hear everything.
You said that we're supposed to have grace.
Yes.
Grace is from God. That does not come from us. That's not something that we can extend to each other. We forgive because we want to be forgiven. That's why it says, forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, deliver us from evil, for thine is the kingdom of power and glory forever, ever in Jesus' name. That's why we pray that prayer, is because we want to be forgiven according to how we forgive other people. The way that you show that you love God is by showing that you love the people on this earth. It's the things that you do for the people that can't do for themselves. It's the way that you treat the people that are directly connected to you. It's how you interact with people on a regular basis.
So you just prove my point?
No, I'm proving my point. What I'm saying is, if I love my kid that's not even born yet, I'm going to do the work to become the best version of myself before I bring them into this world. I'm not going to justify putting trauma on them by saying that, well, listen, this is what happened to me, so you just got to deal with that shit. I don't believe in that, Tasha. I believe that that is why the culture continues to do the thing that they do.
That's not what I'm saying,
Listen, Tasha. They're using Jesus dying and forgiveness as an excuse to continue to do the diabolical shit that they're doing and still bringing kids into this world.
That's not what I'm saying. I think you missed.
Tasha,
what I'm saying is,
the foundation was us saying that should people that live a alternative lifestyle be able to have children?
Yes.
And I say no.
I say yes, because love is
I
love.
think that you're wrong about that. No, love is an action word. It's not a feeling.
No, love is for men is an action.
For people. It's an
No,
action.
for men is an action. For women, it's a feeling. See, you're trying to speak from a feminine standpoint, and you're out here.
That's a sheer stupidity. Okay, let's say this. No, for women, how women feel with others might be, but it's still an action. If a man does nothing for you, you think you'll still love him? No, it's sheer stupidity right there. Right? Women don't just love men just because they just feel it. No, it's a through action as well. How he treats her, how he talks to her, things like that. It's really ridiculous.
You're operating in total masculinity right now.
I'm speaking from a spiritual
Because you're
standpoint.
writing off pretty much 80% of the world.
No, I'm speaking based off of what the word says. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. He had to do an action physically in order to allow for us to get the comforter. He gave his son in physical flesh because he loved us.
Anton.
It is an action word. It is not a feeling.
Okay, so let me back up just a little bit, and this is why I can. Let me see if I can hit you at this angle. I'm not trying to get you to.
I'm with it.
All right.
I'm with
What I'm saying is that's based on what you were raised, what you believe in, what makes you a whole man, and you're speaking on a Bible that people in rural areas, as in.
You're the one who brought it up, right? You brought up Christianity. Not Anton didn't. He just said he doesn't believe that people from the alphabet community should be raising children. You brought up Christianity.
South America, even some regions of Africa and Asia cannot and have not had Do you understand what I'm saying? Like there are, and I know you're well traveled, and I'm well traveled, and I've been into the villages where they speak languages that are, they don't read. So if the Bible says this and you believe that Bible,
Well, everything I got.
But this is the sheer ridiculous of women. Okay, so now you're talking about gay people, right? Are you saying that in these nations, in these places that do cliques, are gay people raising children? You're combining two ridiculous. You combine things that don't relate. This is the this is the problem with like how he's not going about this as a debating kind of thing, I guess, but it's like seriously, she's making stupid opinions.
with everything you got in you, do you discount someone who grew up in a region and is still in that region and knew nothing about a Bible whatsoever, but yet they are granted even sometimes longer lives than we have? They're living into their 100s. We barely make it to 70 to 80 in Armageddon over here in the United States of America. So what I'm saying to you,
how dare you say the Armageddon? What? Absolutely stupid. I swear to God. Where's your stats that people of these, poorer nations or whatever are living well over 100?
is you're operating in a black or white spectrum and you're not considering the gray. And I feel like as a woman, me operating in my full femininity and me assuming my position as being submissive to you right now to say that you're right. But baby, as a woman, I'm gonna say, baby, look at it this way. Not everybody has access to those resources.
You know what the words say about being in a gray area?
What does the word say?
It says either be hot or cold, because if you're operating in that gray area of being lukewarm, he spits you out of his mouth. He hates in the gray area. Life is black and white according to the word.
Anton,
I'm telling you, Tasha.
okay, Anton, I'm just asking you to have access to the word of God.
That's why we have disciples. That's why we have apostles. Listen. That's why we have evangelists. That's why people travel the world to spread the gospel.
So God put these people here first, but he said in the beginning was the word. But God put people here first and gave them the word second.
No, the word is a living word. Jesus himself was a manifestation of it.
Okay,
the
but
word of God.
There are people in areas that have never even heard of a Jesus. Does that make them less of a people to be able to raise whatever situation they're in? They may be
everybody has to bow, and everybody has to at some point.
And they may bow to the earth, they may bow to the sun, they may bow to the
see, now we get into a deeper conversation about Revelations and Jesus coming back and what it is what grace really means and so on and so forth. So I'm not going to get too far into that.
That's what I'm trying to group it together as a black or white situation. And I'm like, life doesn't work like that.
What's happening is you're trying to justify people that live an alternative lifestyle being able to have children. And you're trying to use
an alternative lifestyle?
You're trying to use an example. You're trying to use an outside example in order to prove me wrong and that these people can still raise children up in the admonition of God without doing the work on themselves.
So why do we have more men in the world than women?
That's not true.
That is very true. I have looked it up.
It's literally an equal amount of men and women on this earth in the United States of America. In the United States of America, there is a disproportionate amount of women versus men. In the black community, there are more women than men, especially when you consider the amount of men that are in prison, the amount of men that are down low, that live alternative lifestyle. If you look it up, I look it up, I teach it on a regular basis. All you got to do is Google. You got your phone right there. There are it's almost a 1-to-1 of the amount of men to women on this earth.
Let's take it out of the US. Let's talk about the China study when they were finding, they implemented a 2-child law. And the reason being is because they were trying to
Why are you picking and choosing your stats? You don't want to use US, but you don't want to use the world. You want to pick China so it can fit your argument. This is the stupidity of women. I'm sorry. This is feminism in a nutshell. Even if this woman is supposedly conservative, she's not. Right? I mean, she's living her alternative lifestyle however she sees fit. I mean, ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. You're a feminist in disguise. It's like, because here's the thing where Kevin Samuel have said it, right? I mean, she's not insulting, but she has the need to be right. Right? You have the need to be right. Zyrax, what is up, my sister? What is up?
Females because they were having way too many females.
Correct.
Okay, and so if you had a female child, you had to abort that child because it was creating a disproportionate amount of women to men because people were naturally and have naturally essentially giving birth to more females than men. So that guess what? We can populate and y'all can spread.
I'm doing good. How are you doing? How are you doing, my sister? Again, this is right. I'm sorry. I think this is a lot of women where they don't want to see the logic. So they create an argument that would fit their logic instead of just listening to logic and maybe changing up your logic. This is the problem with a lot of people, but I'll say women in particular, where you have a hard time changing your mind, right? You have a hard time changing your mind. You will 100% want to stick with what you believe and create the argument around what you believe. Because here's the thing, like she said, right? She's not even using the world, right? Because yes, the world stats, world population, it's about equal, men to women. US, it's about equal, but you will pick a place, China, to try to say it's not equal.
Not true. You're talking about China, and you got to consider the era in which that happened. You're talking about the industrialization of China. Also, you have to factor in that the United States of America, as well as other countries, were basically offloading physical labor over to China in order to try to prop up the profitability of the companies here in the United States of America. That's why you have factories going over to China. That's why you had all these, because they can manufacture it cheaper. So they needed more physical.
Well, I'm just reacting to things. So this is not necessarily a topic of debate, right? So I'm reacting to this video. I thought this was a good video. I mean, if I say anything that want to debate on, that's all good, right? Want to have a conversation on. Basically, right? I'm just saying a lot of women, not all women, okay, not all women, but a lot of women is just they are the end of feminism. Exactly, right? It's pretty much like the feminist mindset. It's destroying women, I believe.
Labor. They didn't need the same thing that we need in a technological era. So in the industrialization era, they needed more men to be able to take care of their elders, to take care of the farms, to ensure that they can pass on their genes, and to ensure that they continue to take care of their villages. And that is one of the reasons why, not just because there were more female children, but they instituted a one-child thing because they were overpopulated. It was too many people in China, especially during the industrialization age. So that is why in most cultures, they prefer to have a male child versus a female child. But now that we've civilized the world and we become more technologically savvy, so we don't need as much physical labor, and we have machines, we have AI, we have robotics, we have all of that other type of stuff, women now can exist in an environment that is conducive for them to be able to survive because we don't need as much physical hunter-gatherer type of mentality in order for us to be able to thrive, especially in rural China. You talking about where they speak Cantonese. See, I study Chinese. I study their culture. I speak Mandarin, right? So
speak some Mandarin, right?
But I understand their culture. Now we have Shanghai. Now we have Beijing. Now we have major cities. Now we have the technological race, AI chips, all this type of stuff, right? You're talking about a country who is at war, right? And you're talking about a country that is trying to transform itself in order to compete with America and become a superpower. Right? So all these rural places that exist outside of China was where they had the majority of their population. So they had to make a decision, especially considering that in poor societies, they have the most children. If you go over to India,
I know that.
They have more children than ever before. If you go over to Brazil, right, they have a whole lot of children. In poor populations, they tend to populate the earth more versus people that have resources and are more educated. They tend to take a more practical approach to making sure that they have children.
I guess, because I'm not trying to get what you're saying, and you did make some valid points there. What I'm saying is, from a feminist standpoint, is that when a person loves, because men...
I'm sorry, from a feminine standpoint, you shouldn't make arguments, right? When you're using a feminine standpoint, which is usually emotion, you shouldn't, controversially, you shouldn't have an opinion. I'm sorry. But when you talk about things from a feminine standpoint, you shouldn't have much of an opinion, not on many things, okay? Because again, you're using your emotions to gather your thoughts, right? To gather your opinions, to create said opinions. And that is very wrong.
You said love is an action to you, but for a woman, love is action, is feeling. It's intuition, it's energy. I do not feel that a person that lives a same-sex lifestyle can love less than a person who lives in a heterosexual lifestyle, because we all can go through and experience the same things. We all have trauma.
It's not about love. Again, that's the folly of that's the fallacy of a lot of women's mindset. It's not about love. I'm sorry, right? Love is great. Love is a necessity, right? This is why, right? This is why when you have the best way to raise a child, right? It's a man and a woman. I'm sorry, gay alphabet, whatever lifestyle is not the best conducive way to raise children. The mother should show the love, but guess what the father does, right? Guess what the father will show, right? He will show the discipline. He will show the how to respect, how to fear and respect authority, how to fear and respect parents. Okay, he will educate children in a much needed way that's outside of the emotions. Okay, so with her thinking that just let gay people or lesbian people do it. It's an imbalance, right? It's an imbalance. And to be honest, studies have shown that single father households fare better than single mother households. Okay, so in essence, all that love, it's not that much important, right? It's not. I'm not saying that it's not needed, but if push comes to shove, how men go about raising children produces better, conducive, productive adults. And that's the main goal, right? To produce productive adults. It's just how it is.
We all sin. We all come from different backgrounds. Some of us are privileged, some of them are not. And that doesn't make them less than a person to be capable of raising a child, because a heterosexual person can have just as much trauma as someone in the LGBTQ. Now, if we're basing it on the word of God, which I feel like a lot of people do not have access to the word of God, then that is your lifestyle. And that to me is very compartmentalized. And those are your beliefs. And you're totally, that is your right to have those. I'm not negating your beliefs and what has, been profound in your life. But for a lot of people that do not have access to the same information or the same people or the same backgrounds and no fault of their own, you got child soldiers, they're bred. Like I just have to relate to the people who are unfortunately casualties of war, and that they have the ability to change, because every day that we wake up.
Casualty of war, how many people? It's like, this is a thing where this is why, I'm sorry, why women logic fails. Casualty of war? How many? It's like, who are you talking to? Who are you dealing with is the casualty of wars. It's like, this is the problem with a lot of women, where the only thing to think about is the minute, right? Their complete logic, right? Their logic is like, oh, you know what? These 10 people feel this way. Everyone, we need to focus on how these 10 people are, right? We need to gear society towards these 10 people. We need to focus on these 10 people, negating, let's say, the million other people. It's like, are you kidding me? This is not how society functions. This is not how society prosper. When you 100% need to focus on the few. Now, I'm not saying ignore or punish the few, but again, how society works. Problem is, it's the majority, right? To succeed as a society, majority has to come first.
We'll bring it back to the United States of America. How many of us are actually experiencing it?
We experience that every day. It's just a choice that we want to make.
No. Because some people are subjected to something, but other people are making a choice. And over here in the United States of America, we are not limited in the amount of Bibles that's being sold. We are not minimizing the fact that people are making choices every single day to go different than what it was that they were taught, or that we are more accomplices than compromise because we have been living an alternative lifestyle. I believe that you have a duty, you have an obligation, if you bring this child into this world, to be the example of what you would want your child to marry or you would want your child to be like. And I don't believe you can do that by living a gay lifestyle.
Aren't they, and let's just say, because like I said, the statistics show, and I know kids that were born and raised by gay mothers or gay men, even straight kids, they don't have.
Statistics show that relationships have the highest divorce rate. Tasha, you know this.
Can they be divorced because is marriage really legal for them? If we're really talking
statistics also show that the kids that have the greatest opportunity to become successful, to make the most money, less likely to go to jail, less likely to need therapy, less likely to join a gang, are children that are raised in two-parent households that are married in heterosexual relationships. But that is a fact. That's not my opinion.
So you ever seen the families where they have about 5 or maybe 2 kids? And
what the hell's wrong with you? This is what I'm sorry. This is this is, I'm sorry. This woman, she's not conservative. She's a feminist, and she's a conservative feminist, right? It's like, what are you talking about? Oh, let's use the exceptions to negate the rule. Are you crazy, right? This is the problem with women's logic. You are using the exceptions to base your logic on. This is why you sound illogical, right? This is why you sound illogical. Literally, he's using facts. It is 100% fact that children fare better in a 2-parent heterosexual marriage. It is a fact, right? There are studies on it. And yes, marriage is legal for same-sex marriages. Tell me what state that it isn't. I wouldn't know, right? I mean, like, tell me which one. And this is the thing. Studies have shown that lesbian relationships have the highest divorce rates. It's like, so literally, that's a broken family.
Kid does great and the other does, but they have the exact same upbringing, but you can't help that you got a Jeffrey Dahmer and you don't know what the f is going on. Nobody can know what they're raising until it's raised. And I feel like you live in a very boxed world, and that's okay
No,
because,
just black and white.
because of your money and your status.
This has
You're
nothing to
able
do with money and
that.
status.
Yes, it does.
No,
And-
Tasha, I was raised in a household where we didn't have a lot of resources. I
You
don't
had a
come
lot of
from- I don't come from
resources.
money.
You had resources that most black people don't even get. A mama and a daddy under the same roof, right?
That's a problem. You know why that's a problem?
What's that?
It's because we normalize it. That's what most people should experience.
No.
That's the whole conversation that we have right now. I don't think that it should be normal for us to be raising children in broken households. I don't think that it's normal for us to be raising children in alternative households. I don't believe that that should be our normal, but we embrace it. That's why I hate the culture.
And this is the problem. I'm sorry. This is the problem with black women. This is the problem with liberals. They're the one group that's like so embracive of these alternative lifestyles of the alphabet community. And no wonder, right? The black community is facing a crisis, right? The black community is facing a crisis. They have the least family units out of most racial groups. They have the least family units. They are. Is she drunk? Yes. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. 100%. Steve, what is up, my brother? 100%. You can't tell B-dubs anything. They must be right. Exactly. This is the thing where these women, right? They need to create the narrative so they can be right. They will fight it. They want to be right. They will create the argument. They will shape everything. They will use the... This is why you don't... This is why men don't talk about exceptions, right? Men talk about in generality because you will use exceptions like, oh, this one case I know, right? There's one case that, a gay couple raised, amazing kids, right? There's one case, right? Ridiculous. Oh my God. Evil Eddie, I wanted to talk about this. I just recently saw this insanity, right? More proof of why this is mental delusion, right? This is mental instability, right? This is right now. They add more crap to this whole. This is why I call this the alphabet community. They're missing Z's, missing Y's. They're just missing more. Like, seriously, in the next couple years, it's going to be 29 letters. It's going to be 29 letters to this crazy ass shit. They're the alphabet community, right? And you and like people say that I'm being disrespectful. How? This is the alphabet community. It's a whole bunch of letters. The pure insanity of it. I'm sorry. This is just ridiculous. I really wanted to talk about this, so I'm definitely gonna
hate this shit.
Do you know why children can go off and they can have a... Have you ever talked to a child of a crackhead mother?
I was raised.
Don't say you was raised by a crackhead mama. Now
I was raised in an... Listen, my parents were the type of parents that took in the kids from the neighborhood whose mothers and fathers was crackheads.
And they love their parents.
No, they didn't.
That's a lie.
They didn't. They hated their environment.
They
That's
hated
why
their
they called them.
environment, but they still love their parents.
I can't
The parent is the environment. Are you thick-headed?
say that. I
You can
can't say that,
ask them.
Tasha.
If you ask them, see, these are the people that I sit with every day
How come they hated going home at night?
because they wanted their circumstances to be better. But guess what? It doesn't.
The parent is their circumstance. Are you? I swear to God, I'm sorry. This is this is the feminist this is the feminist mindset. Okay, this woman who's supposedly submissive, supposedly conservative, but she can't help being a feminist, right? She can't help being a liberal. She can't help being a modern day woman. This is the problem with so many women. You can't be logical because you can't help being your ridiculous self, right? You want to create the narrative to fit your viewpoints. The parent is your environment, right? If you have a crackhead parent, that is the environment, right? Filled with drugs, filled with shit, right? That is the environment, right? When you have criminals all around you, your brother's a criminal, your sister's a criminal, your mom is a criminal, your dad is a criminal. Guess what? Your friends are criminals. Guess what? That is in the environment, right? A house is not necessarily the environment. It's the people around it. That creates the environment. Hell, that creates the household too. This is why, honestly, women they can't be logical, right? They can't be logical. One, they cannot see the logic and try to shape or change viewpoints because it's emotion, right? It's emotion. So if they feel it, it has to be it. And two, they just can't understand anything else because they want to shape whatever they believe as the truth. Exactly, Evil Eddie. They might as well, the alphabet community just might as well say everything besides straight white men, right? These would say everything besides straight white men.
The love that they get from their parents.
That's not love. That's trauma bonding.
It's not trauma.
That's not love, Tasha.
Because here's the thing: they can leave their parents and go off and live with parents such as yours and want the ideal situation. I wish my mom and dad lived like this because they want it with them. But it still is not going to make them hate their parents. That's why they can easily attach to people that are not them and love them. So it doesn't negate the fact that you ain't even got to birth out a woman. You don't carry babies, so you really truly don't know.
But we should not.
What love is until you sacrifice your body to bring somebody.
How stupid is this? Right? Oh, you're not a woman, so you don't understand love. I've literally done videos. Of women killing their babies. How much love is that? Right? How much love is that? Women are literally aborting babies. How much love is that? Stop with your BS. Stop with your stupid ass narrative. Just because you're a woman, just because you give birth, does not mean that you understand love, does not mean you love children. Right? Stop giving that BS. Plenty of women have deleted children. Plenty. Right? Hell, the abortion craze, literally, that is women killing babies. Great. You understand love so much, yet you are the ones who want to push abortion. Amazing.
Else's body into this earth. And as a masculine man, you cannot sit up here on my platform and say you know love when you never birthed a child.
Listen, what I'm saying is we cannot continue to give over into this feminine mindset because that is the thing that is breaking our community.
Femininity saves lives. We have less wars.
Really? One, you promote abortion, right? Femininity promotes abortion, right? What lives are you saving? Two, studies have shown that under female leadership, there are more wars under female leadership. So no.
We look at
that's why we have more wars.
No, we don't have more. We have more wars because of the insecure men that's running the country, and they do not have a feminine perspective.
Entire kingdoms was lost over women.
Entire kingdoms were bombed over heartless men.
Over women.
Heartless men
It's women.
that would bomb a community. We're never pressing the buttons. We're never saying drop this
Absolutely, you are.
bomb on the women and children. No, we're not.
Had we left it up to y'all, we would have had Kamala Harris in office. Had we left it up to y'all, we would have let.
You're missing the point.
Do you know why? Do you know why?
Women don't build bombs. We don't bomb cities and children. We don't do that shit. Y'all do that shit over ego, over trying to restore what's right and what's wrong, and y'all fucked up, compartmentalized minds. On which...
You know what you do? You know what women do? They use men as the gun. Yeah, women don't do this. Women don't build bombs. Women don't do that. But you know what women do? You know what women do? They point men as their gun. Right? They point a man as the gun. They say, oh man, this man is messing with me. Telling their brothers, telling their fathers, telling their cousins, whatever. Women do that. How many times have you seen it? How many times have you? I've seen it plenty of times, right? A man says something to a woman, he's like, oh, just wait until I get my brothers. Just wait until I get my man. Wait until I get my father, right? Sick another man on you. This is why women can scapegoat, right? This is why women can scapegoat. Because you doing this, right? Let's bring it broadly. Right? Oh, let's Palestine, right? Free Palestine. How are you going to free Palestine? What are women going to do to free Palestine? Right? How? Please tell me. How are women going to free Palestine? Guess what they're trying to do? Using men as a gun, using men as a bomb. That's what they do. Because you think just talking about shit will do anything? This is why women cannot be leaders. This is why women cannot lead anything. Why are you? Am I triggering you? Am I triggering you, Zyrex? I'm sorry, but this is I'm not even targeting you, so I'm not. Hopefully, I'm sorry, right? But here's the thing, right? This is why women can scapegoat that thing, right? Here's a woman saying, oh, you know what? Men are the one who's killing each other. Men are one bombing. But here's the thing. Women do it, but they do it the way women would do it, by manipulating man. I gave you two examples, right? Where women, we've seen it. I'm pretty sure we all seen it. Where if a man says something, whatever, to a woman, guess what women do? Let me call my brother. Let me call my father. Let me call my boyfriend. Let me call my uncles, my cousins. You will sick a man on another man. So you will use a man as your gun. Guess what that other man will do if he goes up? He might fight a man. He might even kill that man. So essentially, you use your man as a gun against another man. But guess what? Stats will show that the man killed the other man. Stats won't show that women point that gun at that man, right? Stats won't show that. Studies won't show that, right? But we all know that's true. We've all seen that kind of situation. And like I said, I gave you a broader example. The Palestine thing, okay? We see liberals, we see the left, kind of said, free Palestine, free Palestine. But how would you do that, right? You think peace talks will free Palestinians or will do whatever for Palestinians? No, free talks won't do that. Diplomatic, talking, right? Jabbering, gabbering won't do that. Guess what would do that? War. So you are just essentially, right, using men as your bomb, using men as your gun. Essentially that. To accomplish your goals, women will use men as their bombs, their guns. And there are certain studies that have shown that under women leadership, right, queens of the past, there have been more wars under female leaderships than there have been under male leadership, right? So this is I want to break up these kind of mindset. Men are dangerous. No, stop it with that BS. Women know better. Women are no better.
I think love is and what it's not, and that's where there's a disconnect. Is because of what it is that you believe in, and you're not considering that God.
No. See, this is the thing, right? Again, you made Tasha's point that men start wars. One, I said this, right? I said that under female leadership, there have been more wars started under female leaderships than there have been men. Two, that's not. Let's play it out. Okay, you could look at it. Forbes, you could Google it, right? Historical data on the topic depends heavily on the era being studied. While men have led the vast majority of historical regimes and thus participated in a higher total number of wars, research on the frequency of war suggests that queens were statistically more likely to engage in conflict than kings during certain periods. So it's not false. So, but I also said this, right? Again, like I said, men start wars, but I literally just showed you an example, right? Of, let's say, the Free Palestine thing. How will you free Palestine? Just talking and yapping? No. It's a war. So essentially, I mean, we both know that yapping won't accomplish things, right? In general, right? Particularly something that's such a big thing like, Palestine versus Israel, shit like that, okay? It's not going to accomplish their goal, okay? Particularly with certain types of people like that, okay? So what would possibly, accomplish the Free Palestine movement is war. And like I said, yeah, men start it, right? Like I just said, right? The stats would show that a man kills a man, right? The study would show a man killing a man. The stats and studies won't show that women manipulated that man, pointing him like a gun, sick him on another man. Studies won't show that, right? We won't talk about that. So like I said, right? It's all these women saying, free Palestine. But guess what? To accomplish that, you possibly start a war. So essentially, right, women are manipulating, pushing men to start a war if it happened, right? I'm just giving an example of it, right? I'm giving a theoretical or whatever kind of example. exactly that. You won't see that. Oh yeah, men start that war, but you won't listen. You won't hear the context or the background, right? It is women saying, "Oh, we need to free Palestine." I'm just giving an example, so please preference that. Oh, we need to free Palestine. So okay, men, listen. Okay, we got to free Palestine. Guess how we free Palestine? Start a war, right? So that's how women do the walk around. Yeah, men start war. Men are evil. Men kill. Yeah, but no one talks about how women pointed that gun at another man, right? They pointed that man at another man. So just like, let's see the Queen's thing, right? She's not ordering a bunch of women to go to war. No, she's ordering men, right? She's ordering men. A queen orders men to go to war. So guess what? Oh, men start war. Men kill each other. But literally, you had a queen telling you what to do, right? So, but no one talks about that. And that's what I'm talking about, right? It's the subtle manipulation that women do, right? The subterfuge, right? The fallacy of that argument, right? Oh, men are dangerous, men start war, men, la, 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 la. But we don't really dig in deeper, right? We don't find the nuance that a lot of women love to say and talk about, and that's the problem. That's why if you dig deeper, you think about the nuance or the different perspective. I'm just saying that women are no better than men. I'm not saying women are worse or men are better and that shit. I'm not saying that, right? That's what our preference is. I'm not saying men are better than women or women are just worse than men. I'm saying women are no better than men, right? So to say that, only women understand love. Women are pushing abortion, right? Killing their own children. I see literally women don't mind killing children. So really, do women understand love? I don't really think so, right? Being a woman doesn't make you automatically understand love, right? Because literally, women are fine with aborting children. So that's already a moot point. I'm just saying that being a man or being a woman is not no automatic in most things, okay? It doesn't mean that you're automatically someone that understands love. Doesn't mean that you automatically will be a good parent, okay? That's my how I go about it.
I put women here for a reason to balance the ecosystem out. And when y'all drop bombs on communities and say that this person is not worthy to be a mom or a dad,
and that's a lie, right? It's not necessary to balance the ecosystem out. I mean, women are put on this earth to procreate. It's not to balance. I'm sorry, it's not to balance. Stop thinking about that's how the universe works. It's not about balance. It really isn't. It's about biological purpose. Biological purpose is to give birth. It's very simple. This is the problem with a lot of women where they refuse to believe in the black and white, right? You are put on this earth to procreate. Plain and simple, right? It's plain and simple. It's very simple like that. Now, you could go in deeper, right? But it's not that deep.
This is not worthy. Who's leading by example?
No, we women are not built here to bring balance. They're here to get healthy. That's it.
Balance.
No, that's not balance.
That's balance.
That's to do what I told you.
I am gonna help. No, that's not true.
That's exactly
that is not true.
That's exactly what it is.
That is not
and when
true.
she started to think for herself, and when she decided to go off and do her own thing, rebelliousness, that's when she then introduced us to.
See, that's the feminist in her. She's supposedly conservative, yet you see the feminist in her. This is why I say that, to be honest, I'm going to be blunt, but Western women are all feminists, right? As traditional as they say, right? As traditional as they want to be. She's married, has kids, says she's submissive to her husband, all that BS. But at the end of the day, she's a liberal mindset, right? She's a feminist. And this is the problem we have, where you just need the right situation where you will blow off, right? You just need the right situation. You are a feminist.
Man was punished because he hearkened unto the voice of the woman. Woman was punished because she listened to the serpent, because she was rebellious against her husband, which is the instruction that God had gave her. And so we don't need women to lead us. We take y'all insight and we make the best decisions. In my family, we were taught that the women, when the men are talking and they're getting serious, the women leave the room in order for us to handle business. And if we want y'all opinion, then we'll ask you.
100%. I'm sorry. All right. I'm not saying that men are 100% logical, but more often than not, men are the ones that will be logical. More often than not, men are the ones that will be logical. I'm sorry. Men are better suited to lead, not women. Now, I'm not saying all men, right? I'm not saying that men don't fail, men don't be emotional. I'm not saying that. I'm saying balance of probability, right? More often than not, men are more suited because men are more suited to be logical. Women, they're too emotional, right? More often than not, women will lead with emotion. I'm not saying there's no logical women, right? Of course, you'll find that, that gem, right? That gem of a woman that's more logical, that she has better leadership than any man other, right? Than any other man. I'm not saying that there isn't a woman like that. More balance of probability, right? For every one amazing logical woman that will be a great leader, there's 20 logical great leader men, right? It's just how it is.
Well, we'll take into consideration what's best for you. I believe in a benevolent dictatorship. I don't believe in a democracy in the way that we're governing relationships today.
I'm kind of growing into that, right? I kind of believe. I mean, like I never thought about that, right? A benevolent dictatorship, but it's slowly growing on me.
I'm not interested in you inserting yourself into men's business as a woman, not you specifically, but in general. I think that men need to handle men's business. And the minute that we start hearkening unto the voice of the woman is when we lost our families, when women started tethering themselves to the government, when we started to lose the autonomy of what we was as a culture. And that's when we started to give.
Men are even better than women at being emotional. I mean, yeah. Hell, this is the thing where men know it too. Where the whole stoic, right? The whole stoic man, men know that both men and women, you can be emotional, right? Both men and women, you can be emotional. But guess what? Men know you have to be in control. That is why the whole stoic man came about, right? Men controlling their emotion. All men are emotional. All men are emotional, just like women. The difference is that it's the type of men that can control their emotion. The type of men that don't let emotions lead them.
As to family court laws, when we started giving rise to people leveraging the government against men, that's what we started subjecting ourselves to, and we never recovered from it. That's why the civil rights.
Oh yeah, seriously? I mean, like seriously, men are more loving. Controversially, I think men are more loving than women. Men propose to women. Valentine's is men towards women, right? Dates are men towards women. Love ballads, romance songs. Hell, a lot of these romance songs that women sing, men wrote it, right? A lot of these romance songs that men sing, men wrote it. You're just hearing women singing, right? Hell, I mean, Evil Eddie does it, right? He writes some music. He just uses a woman's voice, right? Just how it is. So, I mean, like a lot of love stories that women love, men wrote it.
Movement was hijacked by feminism. That's why feminism was then turned into diversity, equity, and inclusion by way of the LGBTQ community. That's why now they get the same benefits as black people when they never had to do anything based off of how they identify. It's no reason why the alphabet community should have the same benefits that was fought for from the civil rights movement, which then included white women because they used black women as the poster child in order to get these rights through.
Not to say I agree with that.
But my point is that it all came from feminism. That is the core, and that is the thing that then set forth.
That is why I wanted to watch this video. I mean, I didn't know this was all the way at the end. I wish I did, right? Or else I would have skipped this whole shit. I thought they were talking about this more than they talked about the whole gossip shit. I hated that part. I really did. But exactly, right? Feminism is the downfall of society. Feminism is the worst part, right? Feminism is why we hear all about the mental instability of the alphabet community. Feminism is why the black community still believes in racism. Feminism is why the black community still believes that they're oppressed, right? Feminism is why women still believe that they're oppressed. It is feminism that is the problem. Feminism is a curse. Feminism is what's destroying our society. Feminism, if you think about, I honestly believe if I could think about most of our problems, right? Most of our modern day problems in society right now, I can trace it back to feminism. I literally can trace modern day racism back to feminism. I can literally choose that, right? Because it's promotion of your victimhood, right? It's the promotion of victimhood. Because look, we are creating black feminists, right? Black feminist women. right? And they're the voice of the black community. They're the one who constantly pushing they're the one who constantly pushing oppression, right? Another reason why feminists is that in the black community, it's women leading the family, right? It is women. Black community has become a matriarchal community when before it was a patriarchal community, right? So again, that's feminism, right? I believe pretty much most of our modern day problems, feminism has done it. And yes, you can, my brother.
That is the seed of destruction that then led us into the space that we're in today. Now, I'm not saying that women,
Compartmentalize feminism.
I'm not saying that women shouldn't and can't have choices to do what they want to do.
Compartmentalize feminism.
What do you
You
mean by
can't say
compartmentalizing?
that all feminism as a whole is the reason why we got here.
Absolutely, I can.
It's not that.
Absolutely, worse off than we ever have
Because
been.
there's more gay men in the position than there are
As a result of
women,
what?
women of gay men.
Of
Way
women,
more gay rights.
of women raising men without men in the household.
And where are the men?
Well, 20% of the 80% of the women are populating with 20% of the men. That's why when you said all the 1-to-1 or men to women, it doesn't matter. Most men don't have children out of wedlock. Most black men specifically. 80% of the women are populating themselves with 20% of the men, meaning that most men are not even really getting sex like that. That's a fact. Most women skip over the man that they should have been with, and they choose to have children with a man that they know is not good for them. So if y'all into,
I know you don't believe that.
Tasha,
I
if y'all
know
into,
you don't
if y'all
believe
into,
He's literally pointing stats. He's literally pointing things, right? He's literally pointing there are proof, there are studies on it, right? Stop it with your BS just because you want to be right. This is why I'm sorry. This is a problem with a lot of women where the need to be right. They don't give a shit what study you use, what stats you use. They don't give a shit what you say.
tuition is so awesome.
I know you don't
It's
believe
so
that
great.
shit.
Why are women lined up around the block at these clinics in Atlanta from getting sexually transmitted diseases from the same men that they saying that they should be in a relationship with, and those same guys, a lot of them is on the DL too? How come they can't choose a good man for themselves?
So is that a woman's fault?
Absolutely, because a woman is supposed to be covered. Why do you think that they call a man a groom at the wedding? When the father walks the woman down the aisle and he hands her over to her husband, which is supposed to be vetted from the family, is covering to covering. She's never supposed to be by herself. She's never supposed to be making decisions by herself.
So you don't feel like black men, because and this is something that I do talk about very often on my platform, is that you don't feel like men in general have a responsibility to ensure that we're covered. So
that's the problem with her, right? That's the problem with her platform. You would definitely hold black men accountable. You don't hold women accountable. I don't believe you do. At least let know what I see.
Absolutely, but I don't have a responsibility to ensure that people are covered that I'm not responsible for. I have a responsibility to ensure that my wife and the people that I'm responsible for are covered. Now, if you decide to be rebellious on your own, it's not my responsibility to go and chase you down because you're not mine.
In jail from committing crimes or doing whatever God knows what.
So whose
fault is that?
When does the responsibility start to fall on the person?
It sounds like you're trying to shift responsibility to the females.
I'm not, because I'm responsible. I'm responsible for the person that I'm responsible for.
We can end on this note and agree to disagree.
I'm not on my platform.
Yeah. So you know what platform you came on to say this shit.
Absolutely.
That's why you said I own the business. She runs it. I got you, brother. I got you. Listen, I believe that when people are good people, they're good people. And
this should have been the whole video, right? You should have been talking about this the whole video. The whole BS with the whole gossip shit. I was so angry. I thought this was going to be the whole video. I'm sorry, guys. I'm actually really pissed about most of the video being about like female gossip. I was like, that was so fucking angry.
A lot of people are raised in situations that they have no control over.
Right.
And yes, we would like to live in a perfect world. And I would love to live in a perfect
You don't have control over how you're raised. You have control over what you are as an adult. I'm sorry, right? The life you have as an adult, or you have as much as a control of your life as an adult as any other adult, right? You don't have more, you don't have necessarily less. So you have just as much, okay?
Everyone had a mom and a dad and didn't have to worry about perverts or pedophiles, altering their destinies and things like that, or beating them, or even if they had a man. This is a thing where this is my problem, right? You make it seem like, okay, altering your destiny. I don't negate that, the traumas of childhood. I don't negate that. But what I do negate is the weakness that it brings, where if you don't recognize, yes, my childhood was shitty, but I'm not going to let that control me. You are perpetuating the victimhood, right? You're perpetuating the victimhood. And this is why I'm sorry women can't be leaders. This is why women should not lead families.
This is the problem when women lead communities, when women lead families. Okay, you garner weakness. Yeah, Tasha's known as gossip. So, but this is my problem, right? I saw this clip. I saw the ending, right? The ending part on TikTok, and I thought this was going to be the whole video. So this is why I think it's shitty, right? Practically almost 2 hours of this fucking video was all gossip, right? It was all gossip, which was, this is why I don't watch her shit. I don't watch her stuff because she's a gossiper. But I was fooled because the last few minutes of this video was on TikTok, and I thought this was going to be the whole video, right? But it is what it is, right? It is what it is. But this is why I'm sorry, right? This is why women are helpmates, not leaders, right? Women are supposed to help the men. Women are not supposed to lead men. I'm sorry. This is why single mother families, right? Single mother, whatever, are the worst for children in general, right? Because women will lead you to your destruction. Women will lead you to become gay, become mentally disturbed, depressed, whatever, right? In general, I'm not saying all women. My mom was essentially a single mom, so I'm not saying all, right? Please, I'm not saying all, but in general, right? In general, it is not a good thing.
And a woman in the household, maybe the mom was a drunk, maybe the dad was a drunk, because they didn't do whatever trauma it is that was bestowed upon them. But at the end of the day, every day that we wake up and we breathe, and we're given life every day, we're able to make do and change and live the best that we can. But to say that people are not fit to raise children that have been traumatized, and a lot of the LGBTQ will tell you that they're traumatized. A lot of them will tell you that.
Yes, they're not fit. What is wrong with you? When you are, why is it that if you're traumatized, you think that you're fit to raise a child? You're not. You're not healed. Why? This is why women easily fall for the bad boys, right? Easily fall for the bad boys. You have a mental disability. You have some women. I'm sorry. A lot of women, and Tasha K is literally showing it. It's the feminist mindset, right? You are letting your emotions lead you. This is why, I'm sorry, men keep women in check. Okay? Men keep women in check. And women keep men in check too, right? I'm going to say that. Women keep men in check too, because you need that softness. Yeah, you do need that more emotional, emotional mindset that women have, right? But you need that in small doses, right? You need that in small doses. What you need is men's logical point of view. That is how you survive, right? That is how you should go about the world. With women's, small doses of emotional viewpoints, yeah. But this is why women shouldn't lead. They should help.
Sit down and hear them and listen to them. That they've already been compromised. And so, but does that make them incapable of raising a child to walk a straight line? Half of them will tell you, I would say majority of them will tell you, my child is not going to be gay. I don't parade that lifestyle around my kids. So to say that they cannot be that is absolute bullshit.
Where's your studies? This is like, it's like you use anecdotal shit to just say, gay people can do. No, you can't. You can't do that. Right? You can't, because this is the problem with, I'm sorry, this is the problem with a lot of women. This is why you can't use logic against them, because they don't give a shit about your logic. They don't care. I know a gay family that's raising amazing children, so all gay people can do it, right? Majority of gay people can do it. I know a lesbian couple that has a beautiful marriage, so majority of lesbian marriages would be amazing. But studies don't show it. Where's your study to show it, right? Your anecdotal view means zero. Why does it mean zero? Because honestly, into a day-to-day basis, right? You don't know 1 million people, right? You don't even know 1,000 people, right? You don't know 1,000 people. So the basis, right? The basis for your viewpoint is very weak. It's barely a drop of sand on a beach. That's the problem. A lot of women don't understand what your view is, right? In general, is barely a drop in the sand, right? Even though if okay, you know what? I know amazing person. I know a woman that will be an amazing leader. Great, but then there will be a study that shows that I know 100 men that will be a better leader. So really, you're your drop in the sand logic is very minute. It doesn't mean much, right? And this is the problem with a lot of women where they cannot think in generality, right? They have to think in exceptions. They have to think in the minute, because when you think in the minute, when you think in the exceptions, it proves, right? It proves their viewpoint. And of course, that is why women would think in the minute, in the exceptions, because, hey, yeah, gay people are amazing because I know one, right? I know one gay people, so gay people must be amazing. So they can't. So you can't disprove. Oh, gay people are terrible, right? Studies show gay people are terrible. Well, you can't prove it because I know a gay person that's amazing. So gay people in general must be amazing. Whether you have great logic or thinking skills has nothing to do with gender. Plenty of dumb men. Yeah, I'm not saying that, right? But what I'm saying is, right, in generality. I'm saying in generality. Yes, there are plenty of men that are stupid. Plenty of men because Cyrax, right? Studies have shown, right? This is how we prove it, right? This is how we show it. Studies have shown that there are more stupid men than there are stupid women, right? Studies have shown that there are more stupid men than there are stupid women. But guess what? The same study has shown that there are more smart men than there are smart women. Studies show that women fall in the middle. They are more average, more even, right? There are not a lot of stupid women. There are not a lot of smart women, right? Women are more even, while men, they occupy the far extremes. There's a lot of stupid men, but there are a lot of smart men, right? That's the thing. That's the difference between men and women. So there are studies that show it. So what can you say, right? Where you want to go with logic? I'm going with logic, right? You can't really disprove studies. I mean, I think, see, this is the thing where women are more detailed in general, right? Like I said, the bar is very even. So there are, you know, you got to think of it as a curve, right? Women are more evened out, more averaged, right? So there could be a lot of more, right? Extremely more detailed, right? Extremely more detailed men than there are detailed women. But women are more average because there could be a lot of less detailed men than there are women, right? Then women are detailed. So again, it's the men fall in the extremes, right? Men fall in the extremes, right? You could be extremely stupid or extremely smart, right? Not a whole lot in the middle, right? Women, they fall in the middle. They're very even. Women are very evened out.
Because in order for us to do right, people are going to have to start having babies, especially within our community, whether LGBTQ or not, and raise children to go the right way, despite their own shortcomings. And that's where the word of God comes in, and why Jesus, in my opinion. So
stop bringing. I swear to God, I hate it when people bring in religion when they honestly know very little about it. She's proven that she knows very little.
We're in my full femininity, which is a nature, which is a nurture, and love, and that's why I died to give birth. You know, to kids. So I respect you too. Anton, you want to end with something? Go ahead, take it home. And
Listen. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah. I don't know. I really wish that the ending part was like the whole video. I'm a little annoyed that it wasn't. I'm a little bit annoyed. Yeah, guys. I'm planning. I mean, I'm slowly planning. Next week will probably be a talk on. I believe that I believe that. Well, you have to. Otherwise, yeah. Zyrax, what is your opinion, right? What is your opinion on this, right? Because I wanted to see if you would enjoy this conversation, right? If you would enjoy this conversation, because I'm planning this might be a conversation for next week. I believe Islamic religion is trying to take over the world, right? I believe that I believe that Muslims, in general, Islamic religion is honestly a detriment to the Western society. We're seeing that they're trying to take over, the UK, Britain, right? They're slowly trying to take over other parts of the Western world, America, Canada, Australia, whatever, right? I was wondering what you think. I think it's a conspiracy theory I have that the Muslim community, Islamic, religion, they're trying to take over the Western world. We're seeing that in Japan. We're seeing that in Japan as well, right? And they're fighting against it. And I think that another detriment, a modern day threat is Islamic, invasion. So I was wondering if you have viewpoints on that, and if I would love it if you're against it, right? If you have a opposing opinions, it wouldn't be bad for you to join the topic when I have it. Probably gonna have it next week. Okay, it's all good, right? It's all good. But Zyrex, right? If you ever have any opinions on any of the things I say, I definitely. It's hard to figure out what back and forth debates we could have, right? Um, I definitely want to do that because I have some people who want to get on the whole Muslim debate. I don't know a lot. I don't do a lot of religion debates. I'm more doing like in the sense that I'm seeing this more and more, right? We're seeing Islamic, the religion is trying to spread, right? Are you sure that's not a scare tactic? How is it? I'm not sure. What do you mean a scare tactic? What do you mean by a scare tactic? But we could think about we could probably think about other debates that we could have. So because I love talking to you, right? You are very cool to talk to. Um, but yeah, definitely. If you ever have some ideas, we would definitely talk about it. But I kind of do want to talk about the whole uh Muslim thing because I think it's an interesting topic, right? And as some people who wanted to get on that train, that the conspiracy. Well, we know people are afraid of the Muslim religion because of them. I don't know if people are afraid of the Muslim religion, but I'm more seeing this, right? I'm not caring about the Middle East. I'm caring about what's happening in Western countries, in other countries outside of the Middle East, right? We're seeing this with Japan. Japan is literally right now, or during this time, protesting against mosque being erected, right? Being built in their country, right? Literally doing that. We're seeing the Muslim population is drastically increasing in places like in the UK. We're seeing, I don't know, for me, I've seen such a huge increase in people converting or, Muslims coming here or people converting into Islam. So I don't know. I kind of feel like it's a conspiracy theory where it's a religion that trying to take over the Western world. It's just my thing. Right? But guys, that is it for tonight, right? That is it for tonight. I love you guys. Thank you guys for being here. Zyrax, I love you, my sister. We definitely got to have more debates. I love debating with you, right? I love talking to you. We definitely have to have that. Evil Eddie, I love you, my brother. thank you for being here. I love you. Big Bars was here. Thank you, my brother, for being here. Thank you for joining. Steve, I love you, my brother. Thank you for being here. You're amazing. Laughing Man, love you always. Always the first one here. Guys, I love you. Right? Music by Evil Eddie. Right? So click on him to check out the music. Great music. All right, guys, I love you. Later, guys. Have a good night. See you guys on the next live. Please check out my other videos. Zyrax, I would love for you to be on, right? Maybe it's agree. Maybe you would agree, right? Maybe it's a topic that you agree on. Guys, I love you. All right, later.